G'day guys, Dave Lee coming at you once again with our fourth live chat. I can't believe this, fourth live chat. It's been a while. I've been meaning to do one of these for the last couple of weeks, but haven't gotten around to it. As you can probably tell, I'm still half asleep. I almost slept in for the live chat, but my body clock woke me up just before we started. So we are here. Sorry for the small delay in the start there, but we did get live at 9 a.m. Or whatever time it is, wherever you are around the world. Thank you everybody for joining me. We've got quite a number of people in here already, which is pardon me, which is great. And we've got people from all around the world, which is absolutely awesome. We've got people in here from America, which is crazy because it's like 3, 4 a.m. over there, depending where you are in the States. We've got people here from Australia, of course, people from Turkey. We've got people from Ireland, the Czech Republic. This is crazy. We've got people from all over the place. Throw away in the comments. Let me know where you guys are watching me from. It's always very interesting to me to see where around the world people are watching, and I just get a real kick out of it. We've got just it's so multicultural here. I think it's fantastic. Look, guys, as we usually do, I'm going to sit here for like, I don't know, probably 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, and I'm going to just open up to questions. We're going to be talking about, you know what, I think the music's still running in the background. Let's get that music off. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up to questions in a couple of seconds. Thank you, everyone, for holding off on the questions because it's so easy to get lost. To lose all the questions, I have to go back through the whole feed, and it takes ages. But if we start up the questions whenever now, I can start answering them, and hopefully we'll stay on top of them, which is good. What I usually do is, if you haven't joined me for a live chat before, we get people to just fire away in the comments with whatever questions you want. We can talk about movies, we can talk about television, pop culture, we can talk about whatever you want, any prying questions you've got for me, and we'll try and answer every single one. Usually my rule of thumb is if I miss your question, it's not usually because I've skipped the question. It's usually because I've just missed it in the massive feed of things that come through. If I do miss your question and I haven't come to it within maybe like 5 minutes or so, spam me again. Just keep sending the question until I get to it, because I usually will get there in the end. Let's do it though. Let's get into these questions. How are we all today anyway? I should ask you this. How are we all? Thank you all for getting up at whatever time you're up around the world. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Let's get into some of these questions here. I want to scroll up the feed just a little bit to try and get to the first bunch of questions. Have a little bit of glass of water first. Might wake me up a little bit. We've got Blake Eisen has asked me, Dave, mate, how have you been? I've been great, Blake, mate. I have been enjoying my time in the UK. I'm still in the UK. For those who, a lot of people have still been asking me, still in the UK? I'm still here. Still not sure how much longer I'm going to be here. I've been here almost 6 months now, which is crazy. Lots of great stuff's been happening here. I had a nice little job over the Christmas holidays, which was really nice. Had a great time there, and then we were sort of just chilling as well, doing my own thing, and looking for some more work too, which is going to be good. Hopefully, we'll get something in the new year here. As for when I'm going to be back in Australia, I'm not too sure yet. I'm still just kind of playing it by ear here and enjoying my time. I'm really loving it. Went to London the other day. Why did we go into London? Oh yeah, I auditioned for a game show on television, which would be fun. So if I get on that, I could win £10,000, which would be nice. But yeah, that was this week. We haven't been into London too much because it's a little far out from where we are. It costs a lot to get in there, but I do enjoy it. I love it. So DreamWorks Man 435. Hey Dave, Andrew here from Gibraltar. Hope you're well. With the remake of Dumbo and Aladdin and Frozen 2 coming out, will we be seeing behind the classics of their originals? Yes, behind the classics, you've probably noticed by now. When I originally started, they were a bit sporadic. But what I try and do with them now is I try and make them topical, relevant, because otherwise I kind of get lost in the YouTube thing, and they don't really get viewed. So what I do try and do with the Behind the Classics is I try and find an excuse for a particular movie to be relevant. So as Andrew has said, yes, when the remake of Dumbo comes out, I will likely put up a Behind the Classics for Dumbo. When the remake of Aladdin comes out, I'll do one for Aladdin. When Frozen 2 comes out later in the year, I'll do one for Frozen as well. I do plan to get through all of the Disney classic movies at some point. It's just a matter of trying to make the videos relevant. And if that means it's going to take me a few years, then so be it. I'll do it. But there are going to be some movies like The Rescuers and some of the random ones like that, which will probably never be relevant. But we will get to them. We'll find time to do those. But yeah, Andrew has cottoned onto that. I do like to wait until it's a little bit more relevant to do Behind the Classics. We've got people watching from all over Australia, the Tasmania, Sydney, Melbourne. We've got someone watching from Wales, which is awesome. Arizona, Vegas. So we've got some really early risers here for this. I really appreciate that. DreamWorks. I'll answer another one from DreamWorks Man 435. Do you think we could be seeing Behind the Classics for Pixar films also, or are you sticking to Disney films? I'd like to do Pixar films at some point, but I kind of feel like I don't want to deviate too much from the Disney ones for now, because that's just more work for the time being. I do want to kind of just get through those Disney ones. But I don't know, with Toy Story 3 coming out, who knows? We might see some Pixar Behind the Classics at some point. Zach is watching from the magical and mythical land of Down Under. What a wonderful place. I've lost my place in the thread again, so we need to try and find my place again. I'm sorry. Hey Dave, Carter Lovejoy. Hey Dave, hey Carter, thank you for joining me. One thing I was curious about is, what did you think of YouTube Rewind 2018? Spoiler alert, it sucked. It was pretty damn bad. I don't usually watch. I suppose I do. I've watched the Rewind for the last 3 years, and it was a cringe fest this year, wasn't it? I don't know what they were thinking. It shows this disconnect between YouTube and creators, I think, and their audience as well. And I think that's been a pressing issue between creators and YouTube. For as long as I've been doing it anyway, I've been noticing a lot of the creators that I watch have always been talking about like this divide between themselves and YouTube. And I think that's the problem. And I think this year's YouTube Rewind showed that there's this massive it was awful. It was really bad. I watched it like 3 or 4 times, just laughing about it. I watched so many videos just ripping into it. And no one liked that, did they? That was bad. I think, hopefully next year, if they do another one, maybe they'll listen to their audience, they'll listen to their creators, and maybe, I see where they were coming from with it. I mean, I get the point, and I think where they were coming from was good, but the execution of it was really bad, wasn't it? Blake, what are your thoughts on the images released, the supposed new look of Bo Peep in Toy Story 4? I did see those. It's interesting. I don't mind them mixing up the characters every now and then. I mean, that's good. But how did she? I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for the movie to find out how she's gotten to this new state. I think it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to see Bo Peep again. Without any information on what's going on with her in the movie or any of that, it's kind of hard to say. But I'm looking forward to the movie. I can't wait to see Bo Peep again. I missed her in Toy Story 3. I think we all did. The Last Jedi. Joseph Olsen says, The Last Jedi. I thought you were watching from a galaxy far, far away. Joel Johnson, it's 9 a.m. on his end. Thank you. I'm guessing you're in the UK some weeks. It's 9 a.m. for me. Devante Jefferson, how do you organize your Blu-ray collection? I'm really pedantic with this kind of thing. I have like a touch of OCD. I've got like, you've probably seen my videos where I do like my Blu-ray collection videos, my Disney Blu-ray videos, whatever. I sit in front of like that big bookshelf full of DVDs. We've got these IKEA bookshelves, and we put all the Blu-rays on there. The first shelf is like filled with stuff that we haven't watched, and that's alphabetized. So from A to Z, stuff that we haven't watched is in that first cabinet. The next like 3 and a bit cabinets is stuff we have watched, A to Z, maybe 4. I don't know. We've got quite a few cabinets. The next number of cabinets is stuff that we have watched over the years, A to Z, and we do the filing thing where if we watch the thing from unwatched, we'll then take it to the watched side. We're running out of space now. And then next we get onto what's next? I know I've got Disney in its own section, so there's like a full cabinet just for Disney, and the Disney stuff is organized in chronological order. So I have all my animated titles first, and then I've got live action titles next, and then I keep my Touchstone, my Hollywood Pictures down the bottom, and I've got Disney documentaries there. The documentaries aren't really organized in any order, but everything else is kind of organized chronologically. So this is how my brain works. It's very funny. And then we go into the cinema room, and in the cinema room we've got all our television shows, alphabetized A to Z, on one bookshelf. It's a little bit out of order though. And we've got another little section next to the seats in the cinema room, which is music, special interest, and like comedy and stuff like that. I don't think that's really in any particular order. And I've got like all my documentaries, my BBC Earth, my Attenboroughs, my just like natural history documentaries in their own section as well. And they're not really alphabetized or anything. They're just sort of thrown in there. But the main bulk of the collection, I keep alphabetized or in chronological, depending on what I'm ordering. And we keep track of it on an app called CLZ. You just scan the barcode of the Blu-ray or the DVD, and it creates like this huge catalog of all the titles you've got. Last check was like 5,000, I think, which is across Blu-ray, DVD, television, everything, from like 15 years of collecting. It's crazy, but that's how we do it. Slayer BD. So I pre-ordered the Mary Poppins Returns 4K Steelbook, but there's no artwork yet. When can I expect the artwork? When did Mary Poppins open? December? January, February, March. We'll probably have a release in March for that on Blu-ray, if not April. I'd say the artwork could come really any time, but maybe like next month, maybe like February. It's like a rock just rolled down the roof. We've got a skylight in here, and it's just rock, just rolling down the roof. That's very strange. Anyway, yeah, probably the Mary Poppins thing. Like I said, expect like a March or an April release, and you'll probably get artwork like February, March, if not any time between now and then. It's the Disney and their like release, how they release stuff, announce stuff. It can be very unpredictable, I think is the best way to say it. There's never like a clear sort of like thing they stick by, like a template for their releases. It's just kind of all over the place. But expect it soon. Expect it soon. We've got to be patient with these things. I remember when you had to wait like 2 years for a movie. You waited like a year for the movie for you to actually be able to rent the movie, like VHS, and then you have to wait another year to be able to own the movie. These days you get the movie 3 months on physical media, so I think that's pretty good. And we've got to be patient sometimes. And I'm happy to be patient for 3 months instead of 2 years. Adam Addicts, would you rather watch all the Transformers movies or the bad Disney animated movies? I would watch the bad Disney animated movies any day of the week. I have very little interest in Transformers. I never have. I understand the appeal there, but it's just not something that ever appealed to me. When it comes to the bad Disney animated movies, there's always something that can be learnt from them. There's always a story behind them. You have to delve into it, where you look at it and you go, why did this suck? Why is this movie so bad? Why is the animation so cheap in this? Why is the story so bad? What makes this movie bad? And I think the stories about what makes these bad Disney animated movies bad are just as exciting as what makes Beauty and the Beast like one of the best Disney animated movies of all time. It's because there is a story there, and it's usually a story about like a power struggle behind the scenes at Disney, whether that be Jeffrey Katzenberg coming in at the final hour for the Black Cauldron and slicing like 17 minutes of footage or something just out of the movie, just for no reason. You know, he came in. This was when like they changed the guard. Eisner, Katzenberg, they all came in. Jeffrey Katzenberg watched like pretty much a final cut of the Black Cauldron and went, cut it all out. We don't need this. We don't need it. Animators were furious. because you don't do that in animation. When you animate something, it stays in the movie. You don't animate what you don't put in the movie. And they'd animated so much, and he was like, just cut it out. Just cut it out. So I think stories like that are very interesting. Why did movies like Home on the Range suck? Because Michael Eisner didn't know what was going on at the studio at the time. Jeffrey Katzenberg was gone. Michael Eisner didn't know what on earth he was doing at the studio. He didn't know how to run animation. He didn't know how to make kids movies, and that resulted in crap like Home on the Range and Chicken Little and stuff like that. There's always an interesting story. So I would always like... I don't mind watching those movies because it's an excuse to analyze and go, what on earth went wrong? And I guess the same can go with the Transformers movie. You can watch and go, what on earth has gone wrong here? But at the end of the day, the Transformers movies are probably bad because there's just a guy that goes, I want more explosions! The Disney movies, there's always like a power struggle story behind the scenes. I find that fascinating. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray Previews Australia. Hello. Will you see How to Train Your Dragon 3 in cinemas? I've seen it. No, I've not watched any of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I've heard they're fantastic. But I will see them eventually. But yeah, I probably won't see the third one at the cinemas. Brandon Moore, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm great, thank you, Brandon. Scott Sullivan, I was about to go to sleep, but I guess I can't tonight. Thank you for joining me, Scott. Thanks for staying on. If anybody on here likes movie reviews, all that kind of stuff, Scott Sullivan, he's got a really great channel. I really like Scott's stuff. I find myself watching his stuff quite a bit. And if you want to check out some movie reviews and stuff, head over to Scott Sullivan's channel because he does some really good stuff. Give him some support. Zach, what is your favourite Marilyn Monroe movie? Probably Some Like It Hot is just like an incredible film. It's one of those like lightning in a bottle moments in Hollywood where everything just aligns. The actors are fantastic. The story is fantastic. The comedy is hilarious. I love Some Like It Hot. I also really love The 7-Year Itch. That's the iconic one where she's in the white dress and it, flows in the air. She doesn't give her best acting performance in that one, but the movie's really great. It's so well written. It's so funny, and it's iconic. Other than that, I really liked Niagara and The Prince and the Showgirl. They're the two movies where she really got to show her. She was a very, very talented actress, but she was kind of held back by the role she was being offered in Hollywood. She was being given the dumb blonde roles, and that wasn't her. That wasn't her in real life. She was very, very smart. She had an incredibly high IQ, and she was a very, very talented actress, but never really got that chance to shine. And movies like Niagara and Prince and the Showgirl, she's really just in full actress mode, and she's really fantastic in those two films. And I love the fact that Niagara is like a film noir. I love film noir. Marilyn Monroe and film noir together, it's amazing. Check it out. Disney 65 fan, your thoughts on Shazam? I don't know. I will probably see it. I do see all the DC movies eventually. I'm not really that interested in it. It looks like cringy to me, but then again, I have people saying some of the Marvel movies are cringy with their humor and stuff, so maybe I do got to give it a shot, and we'll see how it is. I hope it's good. I really hope DC movies are going to be good. I'm hearing amazing things about Aquaman. Haven't seen it yet, but we'll see that eventually as well. Bailey Vickers, have you seen 1994 True Lies? Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've seen that a very long time ago. I don't really remember it, but I'm sure I have seen it. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray Previews Australia. Are you going to pick up Ants and Chicken Run on Blu-ray from the States, but only if they don't come out in Australia? Yeah, DreamWorks is finally releasing a bunch of their classic animated movies on Blu-ray. I don't know why they never did this. Ants, Chicken Run are coming out. They will come out. I think I've answered this to you in the comments section before, but yeah, I don't like to import if I don't have to import, so I'll wait and see if they get released in Australia, which they most likely will, and I'll pick them up there. If they don't, for some reason, ever get released in Australia or the UK or whatever, I will import those two, because I love those two movies, and I want to pick them up. Frederick Jones, what do you think of the Mission Impossible series? I love the Mission Impossible movies, but I am yet to see the latest one, Fallout. I have to see that. It looks incredible. I'll get around to that very soon. But I love the mission. I love Tom Cruise movies. Tom Cruise is like a crazy guy, but I love his movies. I think he does some great stuff. DreamWorks Man 435, how are you enjoying using Letterboxd? I really like Letterboxd. I'd like to use it more. I'm trying to use it to like log all the movies that I watch. If you haven't followed me on Letterboxd yet, I am on Letterboxd, and my username is I can't remember. It's signed out for some reason. My username's like Dave Lee DU, I think, on Letterboxd. I'm trying to use it more often. I haven't had the chance to watch too many movies recently. Every time I watch a movie, I'll post a review. Maybe I'll just have to start posting like almost daily reviews or reviews every couple of days, even if I haven't watched the movie recently, just to keep that ball rolling on that one. Adam Addict's favorite Western. It's tough. There's so many great ones. John Wayne, I love. I've picked up as many John Wayne movies as I could over the years, and most of his movies are the same. But there's a lot of really fun ones in there that stand out. True Grit is fantastic. You can't really go past that. The Searchers, and what's what I'm thinking of? The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. I think that's probably my favorite one. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. You've got not only John Wayne, but you've got James Stewart in there as well. James Stewart did some really great westerns as well. Two Rode Together. Man from Laramie. I love both of them. I think together, the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It's a really fantastic film. Jamie Dreams 2, your thoughts on the book Disney War? I love it. I smashed out Disney War a few years ago. I really should read that again because it's such an insightful book, and there's so many things in that book that I constantly want to refer back to, but the book's so big that I can never find what I'm looking for. So I need to reread it and like take notes and keep them filed because that's such a great. If no one knows the book Disney War, it is the story of Michael Eisner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Frank Wells taking over the Disney studio back in the 1980s, and basically how their implementation into the studio kind of affected film production. Now, on one hand, we've got the argument that the three were absolute tyrants and they didn't know what they were doing and they made life hard for the animators and the filmmakers and completely destroyed the studio in the process. But on the other hand, you've got the thought, which is how I tend to see it, is that these were three incredibly talented businessmen who knew what they were doing, who were brought into a studio, who at the time their movies were looked upon as box office poison, and they came in and within like 12 to 18 months, they completely revived the studio. Michael Eisner is the man who we can basically, whether you think it's a good thing or not, he's the man we can thank for making Disney the multi-billion-dollar corporation, business tycoon that it is today. Jeffrey Katzenberg is the man that completely, with the help of the amazing writing and animation staff at the time, but he's one of the main driving points for the incredible animated movies, the Renaissance period that we had. And Frank Wells was just a really fantastic businessman as well. Unfortunately, he died in a plane crash. After Frank Wells died, there was like this clash between... There was always a clash between Eisner and Katzenberg, but it got really bad after Wells died. And there's like this amazing power struggle story. It's written by a guy named, I think, James Stewart, actually. And he was commissioned to spend like a year at the Disney studio to just document what was going on at the studio for a year during this changeover in the management of the studio. And it just so happened that this like behind the scenes war erupted and he got this amazing text out of this incredible book. If you're a fan of Disney, if you're interested to know how Disney became the like multi-billion-dollar business juggernaut that they are today, you want to know anything about like the Renaissance period, what drove it, the people behind it, and this power struggle between Eisner, Katzenberg, and Wells. It's a really, really fantastic book. I love it. It's probably my second favorite Disney text that I've ever read. It's incredible. Get on it if you're interested in that. Try. I think it's still readily available. It's an amazing, amazing book. Austin Burchett, hey Dave, do you want to see Snyder Cut Justice League released on Blu-ray? If so, where do you think the story would go? I'm keen to see it. I'm interested. I always like alternate version stuff. I didn't mind Justice League. I had fun in that movie. That's probably one of the most. I think I've probably had the most fun in Justice League out of any of the DC movies I've seen. I wouldn't mind seeing the Snyder Cut just to kind of see how his movie would have turned out. I suppose. Where do I think the story would go? I'm not sure. I can't even remember the actual how it turned out. To be honest, but I'd be interested in seeing it. Adam Addicts asks opinion on Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched that trilogy countless times. Countless times. I love it. Callum Innit, favorite film of the year, 2018, 2019, 2018. My favorite film in 2018 would have been Avengers: Infinity War. Mary Poppins Returns, I loved it. Or A Star Is Born. I really loved A Star Is Born. It's fantastic. This year, I haven't even really seen anything this year, so I can't say favorite film of 2019 yet. But there's a few that I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see Mary Queen of Scots. That's just come out. Has anyone seen that? What's it like? Do you think we'll get a Super Bowl endgame TV spot? Sky Avenger asks. That's like almost guaranteed that we will get something from Avengers or Captain Marvel or something from Disney. I'm sure we might even get like a Toy Story 3 thing from the Super Bowl, but I'd be very surprised if we didn't get an Avengers Super Bowl spot, because we did with Infinity War, and that was like the best trailer they released. So yeah, hopefully we will. Blake Ison, instant sub to Scott Sullivan, awesome to see. Frederick Jones, favorite Marvel film is I tend to think Infinity War is my favorite because it's like the absolute culmination of 10 years of cinema going. But I don't think I can go past I can't go past The Winter Soldier. I think that's just a perfect film. It's just like a perfect movie. It's like the story is incredible, the writing is incredible, the acting is fantastic, the direction is amazing, the cinematography is fantastic. It's just like this great, like, intriguing spy thriller. That's like the moment where I think not just but I think just about everyone realized, oh crap, these Marvel guys are actually taking things seriously. They know what they're doing. That was so vastly different to anything else they'd done before. And that was like a big kick in the face for cinema goers. Like, wow, this is the journey we've got ourselves onto. I love that movie. I love it. Nicholas Newland, still buying Steelbooks, Dave. Considering picking up Ant-Man and the Wasp and Venom Steelbook will be the first Marvel Steels I buy. Is it worth it? I stopped buying Steelbooks a little while ago, only because I found that I was never really pleased with the artwork, and they're so expensive. And when I'm buying like one 4K, well, I used to buy 2 copies of every movie, the 2D and the 3D. Then I stopped buying the 2D because I didn't need to buy the 2D and the 3D. And then 4K came, and I started like buying 2 copies, 4K and the 3D, and then Steelbooks. And I was finding I was buying like 3 copies of every movie, and I'm looking at the Steelbook artwork and going, I don't like this. I think I got to a point where I was buying Steelbooks because I wanted to make content, and I wanted like instant hits and stuff. But I'm sick of wasting $40, $50 on Steelbooks when my main passion is the slipcovers. I think I want to sell some of my older like Marvel Steelbooks. I'm not too sure. But I already sold my my Netflix. I had the Daredevil season 1 and 2, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. I sold them on because I didn't need them. I just didn't need them. And I kind of fell out of love with those shows too along the way. So if I ever want to watch them, they'll be on Netflix. And if they ever get taken off Netflix for any reason, I will buy the Blu-rays at some point. But I love my Steelbooks. Carter Lovejoy just got the Criterion Blu-ray Some Like It Hot. I want to get my hands on that. I'm waiting to see if that gets like a UK Region B release, but I'm not too sure what the deal with the UK distribution is on that. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get their hands on the distribution for that. Scott Sullivan's very excited to see that I watch his stuff. I do. I really enjoy your stuff, Scott. Keep it up. Really good. You got some really good thoughts, really good film reviews and stuff. So, yeah. Again, anyone who wants to check out film reviews and stuff, check out Scott Sullivan. He does some really good stuff. He says, I'm trying to improve. Still a bit awkward and robotic on camera. Mate, look back at my older stuff. Look back at the stuff that I did in like 2016. In fact, look back at some of the stuff that I did earlier. I had a channel before this where I was doing movie reviews and they absolutely sucked. I sat there for like an hour talking about a movie and then I would upload it. It was awful. Your stuff's really good. For someone who's just beginning, you learn along the way. If you go back and you look at my early stuff, I'm like this. Hey guys, Dave Lee here. We're gonna do a movie review for Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I thought it was really good. I liked Chris Evans was really good in it. I was awful. I was maybe not that bad, but I look back at the stuff and I go, geez, that's cringe. When you spend enough time on YouTube, you start to learn how to manage your screen presence, how to build a persona, and then you start learning things like, what do I not need in my video? How can I trim down my video? So when I used to do 20-minute movie reviews, I try and keep my movie reviews between 6 to like 10, 12 minutes, depending on the kind of movie that I'm reviewing. And that's just by trimming the fat. That's by writing an actual script. I never used to write scripts. I do now for just about everything I do. Write scripts. Stick to the script. Well, or not stick to the script, but make sure you keep within what you've pre-planned. Pre-planning is the one thing that's helped this channel grow. Because before that, I didn't really pre-plan. I just did stuff. And I think you see a shift in the quality of my content around that time. I still am making videos, and I still, whenever I'm doing a video, there's still things where I go, I've got this particular template for a particular kind of video that I make, and I think you'll always notice that I'm always changing, whether it be transitions, whether it just be like little passages of text that I end up it happens naturally, and you can't follow a template of another YouTuber or anything. You just got to figure it out for yourself. And I think that's like the most rewarding thing of it, is just over time, kind of building your content and making it better and better and better. And you'll get there. You just need to be. You need to keep at it. You need to be passionate, and you just got to be constantly doing stuff and constantly improving. It's in the end. At the end of the day, it's not that hard to do. But it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of motivation. As long as you've got that, it comes fairly naturally. So keep it up. You do some awesome stuff, and I can again, your stuff will improve. I promise you. Everyone needs improvement. Even I need improving. There's still things that I'm not happy about with my channel that I need to improve on every now and then. And like I said, I always do. I'm always constantly improving. Peter Seamos, hey mate, hey Pete, nice to see you in here. So according to Letterboxd, you've seen about 1,400 movies, more than me. That's going to be hard to catch up. However, if you haven't seen classic Aussie movie BMX Bandits, come on man. Nicole Kidman, was that like her first film, one of her first? I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through, but I've seen enough of it to know that that movie is so bad. But maybe it's so bad that it's so good, so I do have to check it out. I have gone through Letterboxd. I've tried to mark off like all the movies that I've seen. I don't know if I've got all of them. I think I'm probably missing some. But yeah, I've got like, I don't know how many on there now it's saying that I've watched. But I have tried, I'd spent a few hours just going through and trying to mark off every movie I've seen. It's a bit of a fun kind of experiment. Rick Lee, hey Dave. Hi to everyone from Old Mate Rick. Hope everyone's okay. Old Mate Rick is in the chat. Hello, Old Mate Rick. Back in Australia. Of course, for those who might be new to the channel, Old Mate Rick is my father. And he is here in the chat, chatting away with everyone, so that's awesome. Nice to see you, Old Mate Rick. It was Australia Day a couple of days ago. Happy Australia Day to all my Aussie friends out there. I did the most Aussie thing in the world, well, one of the most Aussie things in the world yesterday, and I made myself some chicken parmas for dinner. Oh, I had a beautiful parma for dinner, and it was amazing. It was the first parma I've had in like 6 months, and it was just incredible. It was like that Aussie spirit flowing through my veins. I've missed it. And yeah, that's how I celebrated Australia Day here in the UK. Frederick Jones asks, have you seen Glass yet? Haven't seen it yet. I will get around to seeing that eventually. Will you see Space Jam 2? Of course I'll see Space Jam 2, man. Space Jam 1 was it was my jam when I was a kid. Space Jam, those people there, people who weren't around in the 90s don't understand how amazing Space Jam was. That was like a cultural revolution. Space Jam was amazing. Space Jam was like everywhere. It was one of those movies you couldn't escape. It was on Tarzos, you know, those little round, like little discs that you'd get inside chips, crisps packets. There was like backpacks, lunchboxes, merchandise galore, glasses. It was like glasses with Space Jam, everything. Everyone had the Space Jam stuff. It was amazing. So yes, I cannot wait for Space Jam 2. I have been waiting for like 20 years of my life for Space Jam 2. I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay. Carter Lovejoy, what are your thoughts on Geeks and Gamers? I don't like dragging other YouTubers and stuff, but Geeks and Gamers is like, these like toxic Star Wars channels that never have anything nice to say, that are always bringing people down and harassing people, and just, you know, I don't have time for them anymore. I used to just kind of, I'd watch the stuff, I'd get annoyed, I'd get angry. I just can't anymore. I block that stuff out, and I just try not to, like, those guys are over there doing their own thing, and, you know, I'm over here doing my own thing, and just, I'm over, like, the rift between Star Wars fans and people who don't like the movies, and yeah, I'd never want to be like, I'd never want to start like a YouTube war against other channels or anything like that. It's just like, I just try not to think about that stuff. I just block that out. It's like, it's all noise. It's all noise. And I suggest people, I know a lot of people get really angry over these like Star Wars channels, people just ragging on Star Wars. It's just like, just block it out. It's noise. It's all noise. What we got? Zach, have you seen My Week with Marilyn? I love this movie, and I love Michelle Williams' performance as Marilyn. I don't think it gets the attention it deserves. I have seen that. I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie, and like a really decent character study into Marilyn Monroe. Unlike, there's been a few biopics on Marilyn, and I've never really been too impressed with them. There was like a TV miniseries called Blonde, and that acted as if it was like the definitive biopic on Marilyn Monroe, and it was based on a book which was a work of fiction, like a fictionalized account of Marilyn Monroe's life, and I hated it because this is a person, again, who she is one of my idols. I put Marilyn Monroe up there for me with the likes of like John Lennon, John F. Kennedy, these people, Walt Disney, these people who've inspired me. Marilyn Monroe was an incredible force of nature, and she was, I think the thing that fascinates me about her so much is the struggle she had in fitting in, not only just with her life, but in Hollywood. And just, it's that kind of that black sheep story about that person that rises above everything else. And I think the devastating end to her story is like the ultimate, like, the bookend to that ultimate, like, tragic Hollywood story. I think she's amazing. She was an incredible actress. She was like the first woman in Hollywood to start her own production company. So she could, as I said earlier, she wasn't getting the roles she wanted. She started her own production company so she could get the roles she thought she deserved, and she really did deserve. And I felt that lots of biopics and stuff on Marilyn just never showed that proper side of her, like the real side. More focuses on like the icon, or whatever. And I think My Week with Marilyn really encapsulated that, like, a beautiful spirit that she had, and that I think it just captured her personality so well. And it's the only movie I've seen where I've gone, yeah, that's how she should be depicted in films. And I would really love to see someone tackle like a proper Marilyn Monroe biopic that's not based on a work of fiction, that's just like straight out truth. And there's a lot of great stories to tell there. Demencion Scott. Demencion Scott. Sorry, I mispronounce your username all the time. What's up, Dave? How's it going? Going great, thanks. Carter, how are you going? I hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Carter Lovejoy, thoughts on Top Gun 2? I can't wait! I love Tom Cruise movies. They're just so cool. I love Top Gun. One of the best experiences I've ever had in the cinema was Top Gun in 3D at the IMAX. It was amazing. We saw it in Sydney, which was, I believe, the largest IMAX screen of the time. They've demolished that one now. They're rebuilding it. But we saw Top Gun 3D there. It's incredible. I can't wait for Top Gun 2. It's not going to be any different to a Mission Impossible movie or a Jack Reacher movie or anything like that, but it's going to be so good. Atomaddicts again, if Blu-ray got discontinued, what would you buy and watch your movies on? I would watch iTunes and Apple. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about the day Blu-ray goes. I would be forced into streaming, and it would be devastating at first. I'm sure I'd get used to it over time, but I would always mourn the loss of physical media. But I think I don't know. I would have to look into what I think is best for the longevity of my media, because I would want to purchase it. I wouldn't want to just rely on Netflix where stuff just comes and goes on like this constant cycle. I think like iTunes is probably the first thing that comes to my mind, but I would need to look into what platform offers, because what I'm worried about is buying all this stuff and then the studio's just revoking your rights to it, which happens and has happened. That's why I don't like digital media, because the studio can just revoke your right to that. You never own it. You own the right to watch it for however long the studio makes it available to you, and I hate that. So I'd have to look into what offers my media collection the best security, if that's even ever going to be a thing with any of the platforms. Jack Insom, what do you like better, The Office US or The Office UK? It's funny, I've actually just rewatched both of them. I watched The Office UK a few months ago, and myself and my girlfriend have been watching The Office US. I've watched The Office US so many times. The earlier seasons I watched over and over and over again. The later seasons I probably only ever watched once. But yeah, I'm rewatching them. This is her first time viewing it. She really loves it. I love it. I think they're both so just vastly different series. Ricky Gervais is one of my absolute favourites. He's probably he is my favourite comedian in the industry right now. I love all of his stuff. And I love The Office. And then The Office US is just, they're very different experiences. The Office US is like, it's like such an engaging experience. It's an intimate experience where you actually get to know these characters over 9 years. And I feel like it's one of those just intimate TV shows where you live with the characters, you know the characters, you love them, you love this world, you love the stories. Whereas the UK one is more of like it's more of a, like, you know how that the show presents itself as a documentary? It is more like, it's like a snapshot into this horrible life of these horrible people in this horrible setting. So I can't differentiate. To me, they're like both vastly different shows. I love them both. Frederick Jones, is Blu-ray worth it? I can't really tell the difference from DVD. This surprises me. Actually, that people still don't see the difference. It might also depend on what technology, the screen or whatever you're watching it on. Blu-ray is 4 times the quality of DVD. There is an enormous difference between high definition and standard definition. Enormous difference, not only in the picture quality, but in the sound. Blu-ray is absolutely worth it. If you love a movie, Blu-rays are as cheap, if not cheaper, than DVDs these days. I mean, I hear a lot of people going, Blu-rays are too expensive. You'll get a Blu-ray for $5 these days. I've picked up Blu-rays for like $2.50. Blu-rays are cheap now. I think people need to... I've never really understood that people... Like, we're into 4K now. There's 8K TV panels, and people are still stuck on DVD. I mean, if you can't tell the difference and you're happy with DVD, that's completely fine. And I know DVD still well and truly outsells Blu-ray. But there is an enormous difference. And then 4K... 4K is... Blu-ray is 6 times the quality of DVD. 4K is 4 times the quality of a Blu-ray. So that's like... I don't know how many times the quality of a DVD. I'm terrible with math. You guys know this. I think 4K is worth it for particular titles. I'm not going overboard with the 4K stuff. Only stuff that I really love, like movies I really love, or movies that I believe will look good on 4K, deserve to be bought on 4K. But Blu-ray, absolutely. VHS, DVD Blu-ray Previews Australia. Will you do your top 10 best 3D Blu-rays? I probably should. That's something people have been asking me for a while. I will eventually get to that, like top 10 3D Blu-rays. There's some really good ones out there. PT675. Hi, Dave. Do you collect Hanna-Barbera cartoons from the 60s and 70s? Which ones do you have and which ones are your favorite? I don't. This is one of those things I get in these. Like little moments where I get obsessed with collecting something, and I get into like this rhythm where, for example, a couple of years ago, Planet Earth 2 came out. I watched Planet Earth 2 and I thought it was amazing. I watched the first Planet Earth. I thought it was the best thing I've ever seen. And then I got in this obsessive phase where I went and I bought all the David Attenborough DVDs and Blu-rays that I could find. I guess I bought DVDs because a lot of his stuff is only available on DVD. I already had some. I had stuff like The Hunt. I had Life. I had Frozen Planet. I had some of the bigger ones that have been released on Blu-ray over the last few years. But I went back and I literally bought the entire back catalogue of David Attenborough that you can get on DVD. I think maybe I'm missing one, which is one that they put out of print because it was factually incorrect. He did this thing about the like the missing link in Evolution. They found like these bones that they believed to be the missing link of the Evolution story, and then it turned out the bones were fake or something, so they like discontinued the DVD. I do gotta get my hands on that. But yeah, I do get in these rhythms where I get obsessed and I like try and get everything. And Hanna-Barbera is one of those things where I've just been waiting for the day where I find my opportunity to go, I'm going to buy the complete series of the Flintstones. And then I'm going to buy the complete series of the Jetsons. And then I'm going to buy Yogi Bear. And then I'm going to buy Dastardly and Muttley. And then I'm going to buy Wacky Racers. Then I'm going to buy all of the Hanna-Barbera. I love Hanna-Barbera. I grew up watching the shows, and I don't know why I never bought any of them on DVD. I think by the time, you go through that phase in it where you're a kid, you're like, cartoons, I don't need that, cartoons. Don't do that. I mean, I did that for a bit when I was a kid. I thought it was cool. It was like, oh, cartoons, I'm too cool for cartoons. You're never too cool for cartoons. Cartoons and animation are amazing. But I think when it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'd really love to own all these Hanna-Barbera things, I think it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wait for these to come out on Blu-ray. And then I just never did. So I'm just waiting for the day to find that perfect opportunity to buy the Hanna-Barbera back catalogue, because I love that stuff, especially the Flintstones, and especially the Jetsons. I think they were just incredible series. Yogi Bear, they were just so good. I grew up watching them. Top Cat! Oh, man! There's some good stuff. You've planted a seed in my head, PD675. We'll get there eventually. Blake. Hey, Dave. Quick last question before I go see the mule. I'm a bit insecure about showing my face on video and was wondering if you think a podcast-style video would fare well for a newcomer to the platform. It's always hard to tell. What I always tend to say is that if you wanna succeed on this platform, and this is something that I didn't learn for maybe a year after starting this particular channel. Maybe a couple of years after starting YouTube. As I said before, I had a horrible channel before this that failed. You have to stay topical and you have to stay relevant. So as long as you're staying topical and you're staying relevant, and you are saying things that people want to hear and saying things that people want to click onto, I think go for it. I mean, if you're insecure about showing your face on camera, I think maybe just try whatever you think is best for you. I know I've seen a lot of YouTubers that literally just do that. They do like podcast things. But why not give it a shot? See how it goes. Talk about things that are topical and see if you get hits. Just talk. Maybe put like a graphic up on the screen or something. Or do like a live kind of thing or whatever. Just play around with what you're comfortable with. And maybe from there, you get a little bit more confidence to go full hog and put your face on the camera. I remember you sending me a video ages ago that you did like a Blu-ray hunt in JB. I thought it was really quite good. I don't think there's really anything you should be insecure about. I thought the video was quite good. Just keep working it. Just keep plugging away. And don't keep putting off till tomorrow what you can do today. Oh God, all the inspirational quotes today. I don't even know if that was correct. But don't keep putting stuff off. If you have an idea, just do it. I'll be sitting here sometimes where I'm like, oh, I've got a day off. I don't have to do any videos. And then my mind just goes, that'd be great if I like wrote a video about the evolution of Donald Duck. And then I just start doing it. like then and there, because I get in this rhythm where my brain doesn't shut down until I've put pen to paper. So I think just put off stuff as little as you can and just do it. Don't even think about it. When I do stuff, I don't think about. I think these days more so than before, I do think about, oh, how's an audience going to react to this? I'm trying to make stuff that people enjoy. But when you first start, it's like, just do stuff for yourself, stuff that you like. And if people come and flock along and watch the stuff, that's like a bonus. And then that's when you can start going, all right, how can we make this better? How can we make it better? Brandon Moore, hey Dave, what are your hopes for the hope you enjoyed the meal, Blake. Let me know what it's like, because I'm looking forward to seeing that. Clint Eastwood back on the screen again, yes! Brandon Moore, hey Dave, what are your hopes for the upcoming MCU series that will be on Disney+. I'm very much looking forward to them. I hope that Disney Plus opens in the UK or Australia or wherever I am at the time it launches, because I want to see all this stuff. I just hope they're good. I know they're going to have like multi-million dollar budgets. The Star Wars one's being made on like $100 million budget or something. So if they do the same with the Marvel ones, hopefully they're really, really good quality. And I just want quality, and I want quality storytelling. And even if they're like smaller, intimate stories that don't require so much special effects, work, and all that kind of stuff, I just want good MCU stories that translate well to the screen. That's all I want. I just hope they're good. Joshua Eady, what movie sounded good on paper but was executed badly? Been a lot of movies like that. There's one I watched a couple of years ago now called Another Earth. I think Another Earth. Can't even remember what it was about now, but it was like this amazing, like, spacey kind of thing where there was like this, they discovered another Earth, like a parallel Earth or something. Let me find the IMDb, because I'm butchering it. Another Earth. Here we go. It had Britt Marling in it. 2011. On the night of the discovery of a duplicate Earth in the solar system, an ambitious young student and an accomplished composer crossed paths in a tragic accident. Sounded brilliant, and I just thought the execution was really poor. I didn't really care for the movie that well. It could have had so much. There's been so many movies where you read the synopsis like that looks amazing, and then it's just not. But that one always sticks out for me. Miss Cassie, any info or predictions for the future of Marvel post Endgame? I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go. I know Spider-Man's gonna be all right. He's like swinging around London within bloody like 3 months. I just don't know. I'm trying not to think too much about theories about what's happening in the future. I like rolling with the flow. I know it's kind of my job to think of these theories and stuff, but maybe closer to the movie. I haven't really thought about it too much. I guess I'm just going with the flow and I don't want it to get to the point where you overthink it too much and then you ruin the movie, or you predict what's going to happen and it's like, oh yeah, I figured that out 6 months ago, or you come up with this amazing scenario in your head, like a lot of people did with The Last Jedi, and then walk out of the movie disappointed. So I don't know, but I think Marvel will flourish. I think maybe they'll phase out the current roster of Avengers very, very slowly. What I'd like to see is Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, presuming they're not dead, sticking around in like a mentor kind of role, like how Tony Stark was, in Spider-Man: Homecoming. We don't necessarily need to see him in the Iron Man suit all the time, but he's just there in the background, like mentoring. I think that'd be great. But I'm welcoming the ushering in of new characters, new stories, new possibilities, new story arcs. I'm very excited about the future of Marvel. Very, very excited. Bailey Vickers, do you think Disney is finally stopping 3D Blu-ray? Obviously in the UK, I think we're talking about Disney US stopped 3D a long time ago now, which is very disappointing. And in the UK, I mean, I don't have any official confirmation from it. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see what they say. But the last two movies that have been announced, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks Internet, and The Nutcracker on 4 Realms, have come and gone without 3D releases. So makes me a little bit worried about that. What the US did when the US first stopped the 3D in the US, Disney, they stopped releasing their own films in 3D, but continued releasing Marvel, Pixar, Lucasfilm movies in 3D for a little while. So hopefully, if the UK do decide they're going to stop doing Disney movies in 3D, maybe they'll keep running with the Pixar stuff, the Marvel stuff for a little while. But it's something it's been coming for a long time. Televisions do not support 3D anymore, though 4K players support 3D, which is stupid because then the panels don't support 3D, so you can't access the 3D. And the more people adapt and evolve to 4K televisions and now 8K televisions, ridiculous, the more this happens, the more this technology becomes prehistoric, it becomes outdated, and I feel like that's like the natural evolution, is that 3D movies will be gone. And I think Disney, leading the charge in the US, I think they're going to be doing the same in the UK. I hope I'm wrong. Let's wait for the next announcement and see what happens if 3D pops up. Maybe it's just... I mean, I understand if they didn't release the Nutcracker in 3D because the movie was awful. But them not releasing Nutcracker... that movie was awful, and I don't think they'd really sell too many. So that you could pass it off as like a really smart business decision. The same way maybe they didn't release the 4K in the UK because they didn't think it'd sell well. But Wreck-It Ralph, that's wow. That's a big movie, and it would look amazing in 3D. So I can't think of any possible explanation why they wouldn't release a 3D of that unless 3D's dead. But hopefully not. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Again, I might reach out to Disney here in the UK and see if they... I don't know if they'll make a statement or anything. Leighton Hales, have you seen all the films that have been nominated for Best Picture? No, I've seen like 2 of them. A Star is Born and Black Panther. Have I seen any of the others? I can't even remember what's been nominated this year. I've seen those 2. I think that's really it. Harry McKenna, are you looking forward to Star Wars Episode 9? Say what you want about The Last Jedi, people in the comments. Last Jedi was amazing, and I'm hoping Episode 9, whatever that's called, will be amazing as well. I'm looking forward. I feel like I'm not as hyped for it as I could be, but I can put that down to many factors. The first factor that comes to mind is people have just completely ruined the experience of enjoying Star Wars movies, and that's kind of dampened the fun of it all. But then also I feel like Episode 8, The Last Jedi, left off on such a great note that it feels like the story's kind of rounded. I know there's so many more places we can go, but it didn't leave us like on this cliffhanger like Episode 7, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Who's Rey? What's going to happen when Rey meets Luke? What's going to happen in the aftermath of Han Solo's death? All these plot points where you're like, oh, who's Snoke? All these things that you built up, and it was like, I can't wait 2 years to see this next movie. Last Jedi ended on like this like really finite, and I think Rian Johnson did that on purpose because he kind of wanted to make a very closed movie. Say what you will about that. I think that was kind of a really genius move. But the one thing that I think I didn't enjoy so much about that was that it's killed that hype for... Because I've got no questions. The only question that I might have is, was Kylo Ren telling the truth? Is Rey really a nobody? But other than that, I'm kind of like, well, I can wait. I can wait 2 years for that. Or at this point, like 11 months, I can wait. It's not something that I'm just like boiling my head over, like, oh, what's going to happen? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not incredibly hyped, but of course I'm excited to see it. And the other factor is there's so many big movies coming out before that. We've got like Avengers Endgame. We've got Captain Marvel. We just had Mary Poppins. We had like heaps of big movies recently, and I feel like I can only take it one movie at a time these days. And I remember the days when Star Wars was like the only thing that I ever looked forward to seeing at the cinemas. It was like the only big franchise thing that I was just dying to see. Every 3 years, the prequel trilogy was every 3 years, and now, boy, that was like, oh, it was so hard just waiting for those movies like every 3 years. But these days, we've got constant franchise and blockbusters that we all love that's coming out nearly monthly. Like every couple of months, we've got big blockbuster movies that we're just hanging out for. So I think even that kind of dampens the hype for particular movies, where you just kind of like take it one film at a time. And I think even especially with what I'm doing here, staying on YouTube. I have to stay topical. I have to be talking about what's at the present. I do find myself taking it one film at a time. I'm very looking forward to episode 9. I can't wait to see it. Carter Lovejoy, it's odd how Black Panther got nominated. I don't think it's odd. Say what you will about Black Panther being nominated for Best Picture. I have done a video about this. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, about my thoughts on why it's such a historic moment for cinema. Not only for black cinema, but for cinema as a whole, and also for the superhero genre in the whole superhero genre. I think it's fantastic. What a lot of people don't realize is that Academy Award nominations have to be lobbied for. So you, at the studios, lobby for their films. There's multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns. They spend as much money lobbying for Academy Awards as they will marketing an entire film. So these people have to lobby hard. They put out press ads. They send gifts to people in the industry. They do all these things behind the scenes to lobby. And if you don't lobby for your film to go up for an Academy Award, it doesn't get nominated. It's not like there's a board of people who go, this movie was great, this movie was great, this movie was great, let's nominate them. No. There's like this whole... It's like when you elect a president, basically, or a prime minister or whatever. There's like an election. There's like a race to win, and people have to like lobby for the votes. This is what happens. Studios lobby for their films. If you don't lobby for your film, you don't get nominated. The fact that Black Panther has been nominated over Avengers Infinity War, which a lot of people are saying probably should have been the movie that got nominated instead... The fact that this has happened just tells me that Disney lobbied for Black Panther and they didn't lobby for Avengers Infinity War. Because really, they had a better chance of getting a Best Picture nomination for Black Panther because it was such a big milestone in cinema when it comes to like culturally, especially culturally. It's such a big cultural movement in society and in cinema. That's gonna have more of a chance of getting an Oscar nomination than generic big blockbuster action movie. Not saying Infinity War was generic, but to a lot of Academy voters, it's going to be like a generic blockbuster superhero film. Black Panther actually did something to start a cultural revolution and to start a conversation, and did a lot for diversity in cinema. And hopefully in the world as well. But again, you have to lobby for these things. And Disney has, if you're going to be putting multi-million dollars into marketing, you're going to pick one of your films. You're going to throw it at two because, again, at the end of the day, Black Panther is going to get a nomination and Infinity War's not. It just tells me the fact that Black Panther got nominated just tells me Disney or Marvel lobbied really hard for Black Panther to get the nomination and not Infinity War. That's all that says. That doesn't say that people just chose Black Panther over Infinity War. It just means there was probably no push for Infinity War to get that award because it was never going to get nominated. Never. Adam Addicts, will you ever watch the DC animated movies? I've watched some of them. I've really enjoyed them, but I'm not interested in watching all of them. Same way, I'm not really that interested in watching the Marvel ones. I don't think there really are any Marvel ones anymore other than the TV series. But the DC animated films are really, really great, for the ones that I have seen. Joseph Olsen, do you collect any Scooby-Doo DVDs? We'll get a Hot Toys update soon. Don't collect Scooby-Doo DVDs. I love Scooby-Doo, but I don't have any Scooby-Doo DVDs or Blu-rays or anything. Hot Toys update. Yeah, I'm not home at the moment. I'm not with my Hot Toys collection, but when I get home, maybe we'll do another Hot Toys update at some point. Let's have a look. Max Wild, any tips for Blu-ray hunting in the UK if HMV goes? That's a tough one, man. HMV. It's looking positive. Apparently they've got a buyer, Mark Ashley or whatever his name is. It's been all over the news. They're trying to work out like a deal with him or something. If HMV goes under, I know there's a lot of great Blu-ray blue tubers from the UK, like Big Paulie or Kermit's Ghost. They go to all the stores. They'll go to like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Poundland. Once HMV goes, I mean that's like the big media store with the big selection of stuff. but you're still going to have the supermarkets. And I know we want to keep brick and mortar stores alive, but you're also going to have Amazon there. You're going to have Zavvi, you're going to have Zoom, you have all the online stores. It's just going to make it a little bit more difficult if HMV does go under, which honestly I don't think it is going to at this point. I think for those guys who do like the Blu-ray hunting videos, it might become a little harder, but it's always going to be easy to get your hands on Blu-rays and stuff, whether that be in some of the smaller supermarkets or online. Again, no one really knows what's going on with HMV. The news is, all over the news at the moment, is that Mark Ashley, that's his name, he's going to buy it out, but he's like, I don't know. I've read some of the articles just briefly. I hope it sticks around because it's HMV, man. HMV. It's amazing. We want them to stick around. We got someone in here writing very, very just stupid comments. A lot of them have been blocked, which is great. It's really good that YouTube has blocked these just ridiculous comments. I'm going to put this person on timeout. I don't know what that does, but they're in timeout. Again, guys, I know most of the people in here, 99.9% of the people in here are great and respectful, but there's the occasional person that jumps on and just starts swearing or making stupid, crude comments or stupid. Just don't do that. It's silly. It's silly. And you're not funny. It's not funny. It's immature, so don't do it. Anyway, someone's in timeout for the time being. I've lost my place. Ooh, my chair. I've lost my place in the feed, so I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. I'm trying to find my place back in the feed now. I feel like I'm only like halfway through the feed. There's a lot of questions coming through. Keep sending through questions if you like, but I'm gonna just try and catch up here. A lot of good questions, and I feel like I talk too much. So I'm going to try and answer some of these with like shorter answers. I think, okay, we're back. We're back. Sky Avenger, what do you think about the upcoming Funko Pop movie? Haven't heard of it. Didn't know it was happening, but it sounds awful. It sounds awful. Alexander Johnson, would you ever try to watch MCU movies back-to-back before Endgame? Yeah, probably. I probably will do that. I did that before Infinity War. I probably will do it again before Endgame. If I can. Because I'll probably be in the UK and I don't have my movies with me. So I have to rely on streaming or something. But if I can, I will. Worst Criterion Blu-ray? Carter Lovejoy asks. I can't think of one that's bad. All the Criterions have been great. I don't have a huge collection of them, so I can't really speak to that. But I'm sure there's probably one or two duds in there. Not everyone's perfect. American Glutton, how many Disney titles do you have? I have all the animated ones except for Make My Music, Melody Time, and The Black Cauldron. So 50-something animated titles. I've got all the big live-action ones have been released on Blu-ray. Maybe that's a question for Old Mate Rick, actually. Old Mate Rick, if you're still watching, get on the CLZ app, take a look. I don't know, there's probably, look at like the genres for like Disney animation, Disney live-action, whatever Disney categories there are, do the quick math, text me, please, and let me know how many Disney titles we have in total, because there's quite a lot. I'm quite interested in that. So, far away, Old Mate Rick, please. Prajeeth asks, why is there no 3D Blu-rays in the US? Like I said before, 3D is just like a dead format, unfortunately. We all love 3D, but panels don't support it anymore. I know a lot of projectors don't support it anymore. The players still support it, but the more people move on to this new technology, the more the old technology just doesn't become feasible. I mean, if you can't play 3D Blu-rays on your setup, then why are they making them? Kind of Lovejoy asked if I like Brian Hull. He's so sweet and friendly. I really plan to meet Brian Hull. Brian Hull is great. Brian Hull is a YouTuber who I really, really admire. He's got a really great personality, really great. He's just one of those people who is just like, just brightens your day when you watch one of these. He does some really great stuff, like his Disney impressions, and he's just a big, lovable guy. And I think Brian Hull is really, really great. I've had very brief conversations with him in the past. I tried to get him to help out on a Winnie the Pooh video I did a little while ago. Unfortunately, he was like too busy to help out, which was unfortunate. But we did get some help. We did work around that. I'd love to like collaborate with him in the future in some capacity. He's a really, really great person. Really great YouTuber. Joshua Eady is 3D officially dead over here in the UK. I wouldn't say that yet. There's still a lot of studios doing 3D Blu-rays and stuff. It just looks like Disney may be stopping. I don't know, but I can't say that officially. Scott says, thanks for all that, Dave. That was really helpful. Gosh, I'm so far back on the thread here, I think. No problem, Scott. No problem. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Kind of Lovejoy, Lady Gaga deserves the Oscar for A Star is Born. A Star is Born, completely agree. I thought she was incredible in that movie. The woman is amazing. I love Lady Gaga, and I hope she gets that Oscar. I really hope she gets the Oscar. Ollie George, any more Behind the Classics coming up? The next one will probably be, like as we said earlier, Dumbo, Aladdin. There'll be a few this year to coincide with like the remakes and stuff. So there'll be a couple soon. For some reason, I think Mary Poppins, this is kind of Lovejoy, for some reason, I think Mary Poppins 1964 is a Christmas movie. Is it? I think it's more like a Christmas Easter tradition movie. It's not a Christmas movie because it's not about Christmas. It's not set at Christmas time. But it's one of those movies where back in like the 1950s, 60s, 70s, before home media was like was a thing really, they would play movies on television, and there were particular movies that would get played every Christmas time. And Mary Poppins was one of those movies that, like, maybe in the late 60s, early 70s, would be played every Christmas Eve, or every Thanksgiving Day, or every Christmas Day. And over time, over the last however many years, 50-odd years, the movies are continually played on the same day. And The Wizard of Oz is another one. The Wizard of Oz was a movie who really picked up its enormous cult following popularity from its Thanksgiving and Christmas airings. And every year you'll see these same movies get played over Christmas time, and that's the reason why it's become a tradition, because that's when they have always been played. And that's why a lot of people think of The Wizard of Oz or Mary Poppins, maybe Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, movies that aren't particularly Christmas movies, but people think of them as Christmas. They associate them with Christmas because they've had traditional screenings on television over the Christmas period. So that's when people are home, the family's home, the family wants family entertainment over Christmas. And I think that's why people might associate Mary Poppins as a Christmas movie. Same with The Wizard of Oz. Old mate Rick has got back to us. Disney live action, 136. We've got 136 Disney live action. And then there's like 50-odd animated ones. So that's like close to 200 there between Disney live action and animation. Then we've got documentaries. We've got a good, decent number of documentaries there. So good 200 to 300 Disney titles there we've got, I think, which is quite a decent chunk of the back catalogue. Atakan Aiden. Apologies if I butchered the name there. Kind of Lovejoy, I haven't seen A Star is Born, but Lady Gaga was playing herself after all. How challenging can it be to act like yourself? You will find that all actors, all really great actors, will find something in themselves and put themselves into their character. It's one thing to just be yourself on camera, but there's one thing to actually be yourself convincingly on camera. Lady Gaga delivered an incredible performance in A Star Is Born. It was emotionally charged, emotionally riveting. And as I said, all actors will pull things from in themselves to build a really great performance, and that's what makes a really great actor. These people who embody themselves on the screen. James Dean, for one, is one that was just a guy that was just full of so much angst, and you see that come across on the screen. Tom Cruise is playing himself in every single movie. And I think you can't dismiss Lady Gaga's incredible performance in A Star Is Born just by saying she's just there being herself, because it does take a lot to get in front of a camera and do that. And her performance is amazing. It deserves the Oscar. Deserves the Oscar. I wish Infinity War got more Oscar nominations from Leighton House. I think we all did, but again, I just guess Marvel and Disney didn't really lobby for it to win many Oscars. Deadpool 2001. What movie do you think will win Best Picture at the Oscars? My prediction is probably Roma. I feel like as soon as I saw like the trailer for that, I was like, it's Oscar bait. That's like such an Oscar movie. I feel like that's probably the one. That's probably the one that they're gonna give the award to. Atakan Aiden again says, on the other hand, Rami Malek had to study everything about Freddie Mercury. I think that's more challenging. This is in response to the Gaga thing. I think that's a fair statement to make. I think there's two kinds of acting. There's playing yourself and there's playing someone else, really. I think it's just as challenging. I think any character is challenging. I really admire the people in these biopics who really study their characters and really embody someone else. But I don't think we can't discredit someone for playing themselves. But yeah, both decent statements, I think. Sorry, I'm reading through the feed here to try and find some new questions. There's a lot of chat going on, which is great. I love it when you're all just chatting amongst yourselves. Fantastic. Carter Lovejoy, worst 4K transfer for me. It's Goodfellas. I was going to say Goodfellas. Yes, awful. And Terminator 2 Judgment Day. They deserve better. I bought Judgment Day, but I haven't watched the I made the silly mistake of buying that before reviews. I haven't watched it yet. Caney P, do you ever worry they'll stop making DVDs and Blu-rays? I worry every day. There's going to come a time where physical media is completely phased out, and yeah, it's going to happen one day. Oh, old mate Rick is back here. Disney Animation 108 titles, Pixar Animation 29, and live action 136. So 200. So Disney Docos 13. So we'd have like 108 Disney Animation titles, because I have a few like Disney Toons movies, I guess, yeah, like the sequels and stuff. A lot of the straight to TV movies. I've got like 3D copies, 4K copies of some. So yeah, so there's like 300 Disney movie collection, I think. Thanks, old mate Reek, for the help. Caney P asked, what do you think of Rick and Morty? I've never watched it, actually. I've never watched Rick and Morty, but little bits I've seen of it, I don't really think it's my thing. I don't get it. I don't get the humor, but those who love it, all the power to you. So, just looking up something here. Joseph Olsen, I think 4K is only 2 times the resolution. Oh, there's a little squirrel. Sorry, I love the squirrels. Don't get them in Australia. So whenever I see a squirrel run past, I just love it. I'm so easily distracted by the smallest of things. Joseph says, I think 4K is only 2 times the resolution. No, it's the resolution is in the title there. 4K is 4 times the resolution of high def, of Blu-ray. I think it's like 4 times pixel resolution, but I think you might be thinking like line resolution is 2 times, but definitely 4 times pixel resolution. 4 times as many pixels as a Blu-ray, if that makes sense. Crash Bandicoot asks, what's the cheapest way to import US Blu-rays like Disney movies? I used to import everything from Amazon. Things on Amazon changed a little bit recently. Shipping got a bit more expensive. What I used to do is I used to make a mass order. I would wait until like there was heaps of stuff available, like maybe 10 titles, and buy them all at once. You save on shipping that way because you pay $5 flat rate per item. I don't know if it's changed now. $5 flat rate per order, sorry, and then $2 per item. So I always used to try and cut out as many $5 flat rates as possible and just make like a huge order. That's the cheapest way to import. The only problem now is we've got GST being added as well, which sucks. Adds like an extra 10% on top of the price. So it's a little bit expensive. Otherwise, check out the website called Import CDs. You can import from them. They've got really good. What's the word I'm looking for here? They're very competitive with Amazon prices. They have an eBay account called ImportCDs-AU, and that's like more marketed towards an actual Australian consumer, and it's cheaper than going to the website. So check out those. But again, you're still gonna have to pay GST. Dimension Scott, what price do you spend on MCU movie Blu-ray? I guess like $30 or $40 when they first come out. Maybe $30. I spend on them when I buy them as soon as they come out because I love the slipcover. I want to make sure I get like the slipcover and the full packaging and stuff. They're like the only Disney and Marvel movies, like the only ones I will spend full price on. I don't spend full price on many movies. Dimension Scott, are you excited for John Wick 3? Yes, very excited. Gary Alford, are we going to get some new O-ring slipcase for Coco and the other Marvel movies? I guess so. I guess they'll happen over time. I don't have any information on it now, but Disney does take their time with these things. But I would imagine that we will get them at some point. Cattle Love George, do you like Pete Docter and Jennifer Lee as new CCO of Disney and Pixar? I'm afraid for another dark age from Disney. I have no problems with either of them. I think Pete Docter is great. He's been a great force at Pixar for many years. And Jennifer Lee over there as well. I think even though I didn't really like Frozen, it's a great movie, and she's done some really good stuff at the studio. And I think we just give these people a chance. I mean, you always have to. Change is always inevitable, and just got to roll with the flow. Hopefully, they do really well. I really hope they do really well. I think Lasseter was. Kind of losing his rhythm towards the end there. So I think, though it's horrible and real shame the way that John Lasseter went. I mean, it's just like it's a horrible situation. Like it's just whatever. It's sad that he went that way. He was one of those people that that just not a great person in the end, as it seems. But I don't know. I don't know the full thing. But I think it's sad the way his career ended there. I mean, maybe he, whatever. But I think his creative output maybe towards the end was not as good as it was 20 years ago. Put it that way. So I think maybe it is time for a new guard. Again, very disappointing the way that he went. Little conversation here about Hanna-Barbera. Jack Inkson, have you seen 2017 It? Yeah, I saw it. I didn't think it was that great. I mean, a lot of people really loved it. I was expecting it to be like super scary. It wasn't really that scary. I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I will see the second one though when it comes out in cinemas. I enjoyed it enough, but I didn't think it was like the best. Carter Lovejoy hopes for Aladdin 2019. I put my thoughts in videos out there if you want to go and check them out. I think it's going to be a good movie, I hope. We haven't really seen much from it just yet, but yeah, I hope it's good. I really hope it's good, and I have high hopes for it, and I'm staying positive until we see more. Kaney P, have you collected any Disney Infinity figures? Yeah, I used to collect quite a lot of them. I've got quite a lot of them at home. And I don't know how many of them I have, but they stopped making it and I just stopped buying them, I guess. Last Jedi says, can you believe it's been 10 years since Michael Jackson died? 10 years. I remember where I was that morning. I was in high school. Oh, yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, 10 years is crazy. Crazy. He's in the news again, isn't he? Old Michael. Yeah, some documentary about him and all that controversy and stuff. And it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Very interesting one to watch. Jasper F, I have a feeling for now the Disney Plus stuff will be on Stan. Ever since the Disney deal went through, so much of the back catalogue has flooded Stan. Now, here's the thing about Stan's deal with Disney. Stan's deal with Disney has nothing to do with Disney Plus. Well, I guess it does. The only reason Stan has picked up the rights to Disney stuff is because Disney has revoked all their stuff from Netflix. So in the interim, Disney in Australia has had to find another streaming platform to be able to launch their Disney stuff. Now, the Stan deal, I believe, I could be wrong, is only like a 12-month deal to begin with, which means by the time the Stan deal expires, it'll be time for Disney Plus to launch. So my prediction is that there will be no new Disney Plus stuff go. I could be completely wrong, but my understanding is that the Disney Plus stuff probably won't go to Stan. Stan has only picked it up in the interim, and then once Stan's deal expires, Disney Plus will launch in Australia. Disney would be crazy to launch all their new original stuff on another platform. They will launch Disney Plus around the world. You can guarantee that. And I don't think that stuff's going to go to Stan, because then there'll be a lot of rights issues. This is why Disney has ripped everything off Netflix, because there's going to be rights issues. Like Netflix is going to lay claim to having all the Marvel, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, all that. They're going to have like perpetuity rights for that forever. Disney wants to avoid another situation where they sign over rights to shows to other streaming platforms and then can't get them back. Disney Plus is Disney's way of just getting all their content together and cutting out the middleman, cutting out other distributors. They're going to have their own place where they're going to have all their own stuff, and they would be mad if they signed off a lot of Disney Plus stuff to Stan. It would be likely that Stan would retain rights over them in Australia forever, and Disney don't want to do that. They want to keep everything in-house. So I honestly don't see Disney Plus stuff airing on Stan or Netflix or whatever. Pardon me. Carter Lovejoy, it's been 5 years since Robin Williams dies. Yeah, it has. That was very sad. That hit me real hard. That's been the only celebrity death that really hit me quite hard. I'm still quite sad when I think about that one. Robin Williams was amazing. A big inspiration on myself. Spectral Grey, yo, Dave, remember me? I do remember you. You're like one of my very first subscribers, man, and you're still here. Thank you for still sticking with me. I love it. Thank you. I much appreciate it. Donald Smith, have you seen Forbidden Planet movie? I seen it many years ago. It's really great. It's one of those great old sci-fi films. Yeah, a lot of fun. Nicholas Newell, and my prediction is that the Spider-Man contract is extended, and the agreement is that Venom is brought into the MCU. There'll be some sort of negotiations now that Sony has their own success. This could go either way. This is talking about what's going to happen with Spider-Man post-Endgame, or post Far From Home, because the Sony-Marvel deal expires. I think the smartest thing for Sony to do would be to keep the deal extended, keep allowing Spider-Man to be in the MCU, because there'll be uproar if they don't. But I can also see them going, you know what, we've got our own success with Venom, and we're going to take him back. We're going to take Spider-Man back. Thanks for your help, but we don't need you anymore. And I feel like that might be something that they do, but as Nicholas says, maybe there will be some agreement where they meld their two franchises. I'm not big on that, but with Disney buying out Fox, there's something gonna have to happen with Deadpool, whether they incorporate him in the MCU or leave him as his own thing. I feel like they're gonna open up like multiverses in the MCU so that these like coexisting franchises can in some way exist within the same cosmic like Marvel universe, but maybe in like different multiverses. I think that would be the smartest thing if they wanted to like meld franchises together. Otherwise, I feel like it opens up like a whole can of worms with continuity and the whole chronology of the MCU. Yeah, it's tricky, but I trust them to figure out the best way to do it. Vit, I apologize, I can't pronounce your name. Vit, he has asked, how many did you find hidden functions from DVD? What do you mean, like Easter eggs and stuff? They used to put Easter eggs on DVDs. Found quite a lot of them. I remember in the time. I remember you used to go online, used to like read about the Easter eggs on the DVDs, and then you would go and find them. They were a lot of fun. I think that's what you mean, yeah? People still talking about the Michael Jackson death. Aquaman, 4K Blu-ray DVD announced and detailed, or Spider-Man. Yes, okay. Everyone, I keep getting spammed with, do a Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse announcement, do an Aquaman announcement. I can't do announcement videos until the movie or the Blu-ray has been announced. So I have to rely on receiving press releases from the studios on the release to be able to announce them. I don't know. I don't pull this information from nowhere. I have to wait for the announcement for the release to be announced. There's a difference between a movie going up for pre-order, which usually happens like day and date with cinema release these days. There's a difference between a movie going up for pre-order and a movie being announced. The movie goes up for pre-order. They upload like temporary artwork. They may or may not disclose the date that the movie is being released, but they don't detail the special features. They don't detail every single version of the movie that's coming out. They don't detail release specs. We have to wait for the Blu-ray announcement, for the press release from the studio, the distributor, to come out. I can't do my video without that press release, so we've got to be patient. Again, it takes 3 months for movies to go from cinema to home media. You can't ask me to do a Blu-ray announcement video for a movie that's still in cinemas, because it doesn't work that way. So please, I try and do as many as I can, and yes, I've been doing a lot more recently. Like I did Creed 2, I did A Star Is Born, I did Bohemian Rhapsody, movies that I usually wouldn't do them for, but they're seeing some success, so we will continue the Blu-ray 4K announcements in the future as like a larger series. It won't just be Disney stuff, it'll be quite a broad range of stuff I will be doing. And yes, you can guarantee that the big movies, even DC movies, I will be doing these videos for. You just got to have a little bit of patience over time. As Cap would say, patience. But yeah, I will get to them. I will get to Aquaman and Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. That will happen. But please, stop asking me. Please. So-u. S-O-U-E-U. Again, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. I probably have. A friend of mine confirmed to me that Black Cauldron will be released on Blu-ray 21st of May 2020. Man, I've been collecting Disney Blu-rays for 11 years now, and this entire time there have been confirmed rumors of movies coming out, and then it never happened. The Black Cauldron was confirmed for a Blu-ray release in 2015. It was then confirmed for a Blu-ray release in 2016. It was then confirmed for a Blu-ray release in 2017. It was then confirmed for a Blu-ray release in 2018. It happens all the time. And what usually happens is someone goes onto the Disney Wiki and edits one of the pages and writes, Black Cauldron, Blu-ray, 21st of March 2020. I'm sure Disney probably don't even have plans for what movies they bring out on home media in 2020. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they have like a big schedule. But Disney will not confirm. There is no confirmation of. Let me put that now. There's no confirmation of Black Cauldron hitting Blu-ray now or any time in the future. Whether there are plans, that's another thing. There's been no confirmation of it. And when there is confirmation, you will hear it. Don't trust anyone who's got a source from Disney Wiki, because anyone goes on there and edits that. People were saying Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros is going to come out on Blu-ray in 2016, 2017, 2018, until it finally comes out and people are like, see, I told you. People go on the Disney Wiki and they just make up crap. Disney Wiki is worse than Wikipedia because people go on there and make up their own stuff, and then people take that for gospel. And people have been doing that for 10 years. The entire 10, 11 years I've been collecting Disney Blu-rays, it's been going on. Never trust anything unless you've heard it from Disney. It's not confirmed. No confirmation there. Carter Lovejoy, I like Black Panther, but it isn't really a Best Picture nomination for me at least. So back to Black Panther here. I did a video on this again. If you'd like to see my thoughts on that, you can check that out. I think it is Best Picture nomination worthy. I didn't particularly like the movie either. I wasn't a huge fan of Black Panther. I preferred Infinity War. But when we're talking Oscar-worthy movies, Black Panther trumps Infinity War. Absolutely. The Academy Awards were originally started to award and accolade movies that made big advancements in cinema, who changed culture, who made advancements in technology and special effects, and movies that were basically groundbreaking films. It wasn't always, this is the greatest movie made this year, this is the best, most enjoyable, most artistic movie of the year, whatever the Oscars have become now. It was awarding movies that had an impact on culture and on cinema. And we can't deny, no matter what you think about Black Panther, we cannot deny that Black Panther has had an enormous impact on cinema and culture. And that is like the epitome of a Best Picture worthy or an Oscar worthy film. Whether it will win the Best Picture, I don't know. I don't think so. But is it worthy for a nomination over Infinity War? Absolutely. Even though I think the movie is nowhere near as good as Infinity War. I'm not a huge fan of Black Panther, but I cannot deny the impact that it's had on culture and the impact that it's had on cinema. And I really love and appreciate it for that. And I think, yeah, it's definitely worthy of that nomination, I think. Caney P, do you play video games? If so, what console and games? Very rare. I'm like a casual gamer. I play PS4 is my weapon of choice when it comes to games. I recently played the Spider-Man game, which I really loved. And I'm kind of playing Red Dead Redemption 2 at the moment, on and off. It's going to take me ages, because I don't find that much time to play games between making my videos and chilling and reading and whatever. But I do very, very rarely, very occasionally play games. Donald Smith, what do you think of HMV stores possibly going bankrupt? Just touched on this briefly before. It's a shame. Like, HMV is like the first big music home media chain. We used to have HMV in Australia years ago, and they closed down. It would be a shame to see HMV go, because they were like the first and really the only major one here in the UK. It'd be very sad. And if HMV goes under, I worry for JB Hi-Fi in Australia. I do. I really do. Still trying to catch up here. Gary Leiderman. Hi there, Dave. Hi, Gary. Thanks for joining me. I don't know how long ago you wrote that, because I feel like I'm so far behind on the chat, but thanks for joining me, Gary. Thanks for joining me there, Gary. Max Wild, what 4K player do you use? I'm thinking about getting an Xbox One since it has a 4K player. I don't know what I'm not sure what the Xbox is like for 4Ks. You might have to ask someone else. I've never experienced it myself or really read about what it's like. I use a Samsung Blu-ray player. All my gear is Samsung. My television, my speakers, my everything, my setup, my 4K setup is Samsung. So I use the Samsung player because it talks with everything, and it's a really, really beautiful picture. Samsung, I believe, only have one 4K player. They've had multiple models of it, but at any one time, there's usually only one player available. Adam Addix, Universal or Warner Brothers. I love them both. They both produce amazing movies that I've loved throughout my entire life. But Warner Brothers, I think, gets an edge because I love a lot of their classic films, like the classic film noirs, classic westerns, just classic films from Warner Brothers were amazing. Look, dust floating around. Porik Reviews, what do you think about the first Avenger on 4K? Do you think that now releasing all Marvel movies on 4K before Endgame comes out No, absolutely not. They will not release every single Marvel movie before Endgame comes out. No way. But whether they will release them all over time, I think so. I thought it was strange that Ant-Man didn't get a re-release. Pardon me. I thought it was strange that Ant-Man didn't get a re-release when Ant-Man and the Wasp came out on Blu-ray. So whether they're just going to be choosy about what movies they re-release on 4K, I don't know. But I do think it's a good chance that eventually they will. I do think eventually they will all get released on 4K. I feel like I'm like down the bottom of the thread, which is good. Nick asks, what about the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh Blu-ray release in Australia? So unfair that the UK has them. We only have Ichabod and Toad on VHS. Now, did the Australian version of Ichabod and Toad come bundled with Fun and Fancy Free? I can't remember, because it did get bundled with Fun and Fancy Free in the US. Both movies are great. And it's sad that Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh didn't get an Australian release. It is sad. It's a great film. They're both great films. It is very sad. Hopefully one day they do get a release. Carter Lovejoy, again, it's worth the nomination, but obviously won't win. I agree with you on that. I don't think it will win. AL Productions, what's your thoughts on hip-hop? Do you love it? Do you hate it in between? I love hip-hop. I have such like a broad like range of musical influence. I love all kinds of music. And I love hip-hop. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's like really great music. I used to listen to, I used to listen to a lot of it. Not so much now, but I did. Carter Lovejoy, PS4 over Xbox One for 4K movies. But you still go for PS4. There you go. Jeff Berg, have you seen The Towering Inferno from 1974? I have seen it a long time ago. That was a great movie. It's one of those great classic like disaster movies. Same with Dalmatian Vacation, Doug's first movie, Hercules Zero to Hero, Mighty Ducks the movie, First Face Off, only on VHS in Australia too. Yeah, quite sad. That a lot of these like straight to TV Disney Toon movies never really got like DVD release or a Blu-ray release. It's kind of sad. I never really picked any of them up for that reason, because I could never complete my collection. Which is kind of sad, but I think the boat sailed on a lot of those ones. I think we'd be very lucky to see them coming out now. Hopes for Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm looking forward to this. I love Tarantino, and I cannot wait to see this. It looks great. There was like a bunch of pictures came out during the week from, I think, Vanity Fair. Is a Vanity Fair spread. Looks amazing. I just can't wait to see it. I think I'm down the bottom of the thread, which is something that's very rarely happened before. If anyone's got questions, I know there's quite a few people in the room, fire away with any questions that you got, and I'll continue to answer questions for maybe like another 10 minutes or so as we're approaching the 2-hour mark, and then we'll probably close the chat off now. Good to see that I've kind of got to the bottom of the thread though. But anyone out there who has any questions, fire away in the comments. Nicholas Newland, thoughts on Star Wars restoration projects? What do you mean? What do you mean, Star Wars restoration projects? As in, like the like that guy that restored the original trilogy and released them on Blu-ray? Is that what you mean? I kind of I think like I've never supported those releases, only because I feel like I want to only support it if it's an official release. I don't particularly like supporting bootlegs or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed on them. I think it's great for people who want to check them out. But I personally I've never really been into supporting the bootleg stuff, and I have faith that one day those movies will be released on Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, eventually. And I'd rather wait for the official thing than the non-official thing. Is reading these an exercise for your eyes, and is it tiring? No, not really. When it starts getting to about the 2-hour mark, it does become a little bit tiring. My voice starts hurting a little bit. As you can hear, my voice is probably gone a little bit. which is why we'll probably round this out in about 10 minutes or so. But reading it's okay. Do I look like I'm struggling? Leighton Halls, are you excited for Lego Movie 2? I suppose. I liked the first one. I thought it was okay. I haven't seen Lego Batman or Lego Ninjago, but I like the first Lego movie, so hopefully the second one's okay. Harry Palmtree. G'day, Harry Palmtree. Will you visit Manchester? I'd like to visit Manchester because I haven't been to Manchester yet. Manchester's like one of the like major cities in the UK that I haven't checked out yet. So I would like to get to Manchester at some point and check that out. Yeah, Nicholas Newland says like the despecialized editions, Star Wars. Yeah, again, it's kind of like I'm waiting for an official thing. Disney said the films. I don't think I've ever officially heard Disney say that the originals are dead, but I think it will. I think it will happen eventually. So it's going to be a matter of time. Nick, seeing Endgame at IMAX. Absolutely, I will be there at IMAX. We don't have. You know what? I might even make a trip into London to see that in the IMAX. Because the IMAX, the London IMAX is actually a big screen like the one in Melbourne. We've got an IMAX screen here in Cambridge, but it's like a smaller one. It's one of the ones that they put in the multiplexes. It's still a huge screen, but it's only like the equivalent of the size of like maybe a little bit bigger than a VMAX screen or the whatever the one at the Hoyt Cinemas are. Sort of that equivalent. It's not as big as like the huge enormous one. So I will go see Endgame at IMAX. Yeah, absolutely. What's your favourite Don Bluth film? My favourite would be The Secret of NIMH and Anastasia. Well, you've said them right there. Anastasia is probably my favourite Don Bluth film. I need to actually buy the Don Bluth films on Blu-ray. They're animated films I haven't got around to picking up. I really need to do that. Again, it's one of those things where I'll get my mind and I'll have to go back and get them all. Not that there's really that many of them, but yeah, Anastasia was brilliant. I loved that. I loved that when I was a kid. Was there a Swan Lake one? Was that a Bluth film? I can't remember if the Swan Lake animation was a Bluth film, but that was great too. Adam Maddox, favourite Tarantino movie? Pulp Fiction. I love Pulp Fiction. One of my favourite movies of all time. One of my favourite movies of all time. It's incredible. Carter Lovejoy, do you like Kathleen Kennedy? She doesn't deserve all the hate she gets because of Star Wars. I love Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is a powerhouse film producer, one of the best film producers in history. She has produced some of my favourite movies of all time, from E.T. to Indiana Jones to Jurassic Park. She's just done so many amazing movies, and there's so many people who just hate her, despise her, because what she did with one movie, because they didn't like Star Wars. And anyone who says Kathleen Kennedy is a terrible producer or doesn't know what she's doing is just incredibly biased. I think there's a bias there. You can't judge someone's entire, 40-year prolific career on one film. It's just bias. It's just bias. Donald Smith, will you go see the new Laurel and Hardy movie? I will see it eventually. I probably won't get to see it at the cinemas, but I will see it. It looks really fantastic. Adam Addix, thoughts on Apocalypse Now? It's one of my favourite movies of all time. Probably my favourite war film of all time next to Saving Private Ryan. One of my best experience, I said earlier, one of my best film experiences in the cinema was Top Gun in 3D. But I was lucky enough to catch 2 or 3 screenings of Apocalypse Now at the Astor Theatre in Melbourne on an original 75mm Technicolor nitrate print, and it's gorgeous. Looks so gorgeous. A huge screen at the Astor, and I went back 2 or 3 times to see that at the Astor. Amazing movie, one of my favourites, and it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. If people out there haven't seen it, it's amazing. Nick, how much longer will you be in the UK, and will you be coming back to Melbourne eventually? Yes, I will be coming back to Melbourne eventually, but I'm not sure when. I'm just playing it by ear here in the UK. Again, I'm on a passport here. I'm a British citizen now, and I'm just playing it by ear, just seeing how it works out, and then we'll decide down the line when I come home, when I'm back in Melbourne. But I will be back in Melbourne. How much do you miss home? I really miss home. Of course I miss home. Home is home. I miss my family and my friends, and I do miss my beautiful city of Melbourne. I'm also loving it here in the UK. I wouldn't say I'm exactly homesick, but of course you do miss home, and you miss home comforts and stuff like that. But I'm enjoying myself here in the UK right now. Do you have the first Incredibles on Blu-ray? If so much, how'd you spend on it? I'd like to upgrade it to Blu-ray. I bought it on Blu-ray ages ago. Like when it first came out, I probably spent like $20 on it. You can probably get it for like $10 now, maybe on Blu-ray. I don't know. It'd be really cheap because it's been out for a long time. James Giotta says Don Bluth did not direct the Swan Princess. That's what it was. It was directed by Disney animator Richard Rich. That's right, it was too. Was it done at the Bluth company? I can't remember if it was done at Bluth's company or did Richard Rich had his own company. Well, I think we are kind of rounding out the bottom of the thread now. This is like it's a historical moment where I've actually made it through the entire thread. Couple more questions if anybody out there has them. If there's anybody out there who hasn't asked a question, please fire away because I've noticed that there's a few people who are... I love it when people ask lots of questions. It's great. But there's some people here who haven't asked any questions. I'd like to hear from you. Yeah. YouTube's just blocked a comment. I'm gonna allow that through because that's fine. Subscribe to PewDiePie, mate. It says I've been subscribed to PewDiePie for years. PewDiePie is he's a bit of fun. He's a bit of fun. But yeah, look, guys, if there's anybody out there who wants to ask any more questions, I'm going to go in a couple of minutes because we're rounding out 2 hours. If there's anyone, again, out there who hasn't asked a question, who wants to ask a question, please feel free to. Otherwise, I'll just keep answering these ones that we got here. Nicholas Newland says, I love Dave. His passion and love for the franchise is nuts. He did a great job with Rebels. Of course, talking about Dave Filoni, the showrunner of Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, not Dave Lee. Yeah, he did a great job with those series, and I think, yeah, as someone has said, he will most likely take over Lucasfilm one day. I would imagine. That'd be crazy not to put him there. Max Wild, tips for a new movie YouTube channel. It's the same tips that I give every time, no matter what you're making content about. Just be yourself. Be passionate about what you're talking about, and just love it. Enjoy doing it. Make stuff for yourself, but also make stuff that you think people are going to watch and enjoy. But when you first start a channel, just make stuff for yourself. And if people join along and watch, that's an added bonus. Just have your own voice. That's the thing. That's the thing that differentiates Chris Stuckman from Jeremy Jahns, from me, from other people who do movie reviews. I think you just have to have your own voice. John Campea, you know, all these people that have very vastly different ways of making their content. Mr. Sunday Movies. We've got Chris Stuckman, who's a very analytical movie reviewer, and he does some really great in-depth movie reviews. You've got Jeremy Jahns, who does like the quick-fire sort of reviews with an attitude. You've got John Campea, who does reviews. He does a lot of movie news, and he's just started like the John Campea Show. It's like a panel thing. I think it's great. I really love what John Campea is doing, and it's more like a news bulletin kind of take on movies. And then you've got, who else did I say? You've got Mr. Sunday Movies, who does like video essays and editorials and stuff. So you've got all these people who are doing these movie reviews in vastly different ways. Just find a way that's unique to yourself. That's what it is. Find your how do you differentiate yourself from other people? How do you do things differently? I know it's very hard because it's there's so many people on YouTube now, and there's so many people doing movie reviews on YouTube now. You just got to find your own niche. You know, and there's YouTubers out there who focus specifically on doing rankings, you know, and there's people who specifically focus on doing reviews on older movies or on niche movies. Just find your market, find your niche. And I think with my channel, what I've tried to do is I like a combination of everything: pop culture, movie reviews, editorials, analytical videos, history videos.
just like Blu-ray videos, a bit of everything. I try and do a little bit of everything across the board, and I feel like maybe my channel is a little bit erratic. Do people feel that my channel is erratic, like my content's a bit erratic and unpredictable, or is it okay like that? Do you like the wide variety of stuff that I offer? I think that's just the tip. Just be yourself and find your own rhythm, and it's easy to find. It might take a while, but you'll find it. Demencian Scott asked, do you think Captain Marvel will be a success? I think it will be. Most Marvel movies are. I think at worst it'll probably do Ant-Man numbers. At best, it's probably going to do... At best, it could do Black Panther numbers. Who knows? Probably not. Probably not Black Panther numbers, because Black Panther did even better numbers than Infinity War in the States. But it could do really well. It could make a bit of money. I think it'll be a success. I don't think it'll flop, but I think it'll do fairly well. All these people who say Marvel is going SJW because of Captain Marvel annoy me. I can agree with some of the franchises going that route and destroying the series. I agree. Just because you've got a female lead in... Oh, my Lord. This is the thing that really annoys me. I mean, like, people got annoyed at Star Wars for being SJW because there's a lead female character, and now they're getting annoyed that Marvel's going SJW. The fact is, Marvel, by the time Captain Marvel comes out, has released... There's 21 films. Captain Marvel's the 21st Marvel film, and it's the first one with a female lead. I mean, it's not being SJW to put... This is not a franchise that's dominated by males. That's not a franchise that needs to be dominated by males. There have been females in the MCU from the beginning, but all of a sudden you have a female as a lead character. It's SJW. It's not. It's not. It's just telling a story with a different character. And if that character's a female, I mean, so what? It's not SJW. It's not feminism. It's not a political agenda. It's 21 movies into a franchise that's been going for 11 years that just happens to have a female as the lead role. Just people need to deal with that. People need to accept that. There's so many just insecure people in this world. It's ridiculous. Do you, Dimension Scott says, do you watch anyone make Blu-ray hunting videos on YouTube? I watch Big Paulie. I watch Kermit's Ghost. I watch Cool Duder occasionally. Yeah, I do watch Blu-ray hunting videos from time to time. They're very informative. You get to know what's out there. If you're not keeping on top of things, you get to see like packaging and stuff in hand for the first time. Yeah. Newbie E, cats or dogs? I love dogs. Dogs are my favourite. Although we recently there are a couple of abandoned cats on our street. Someone moved out of the street not long ago. A few months ago, and left their cats, and we sort of didn't realize until like after a month or two that the cats were still there, and they were like half dead. We started feeding them, we basically revived them. Love those little cats, they're amazing, and we bring them in. They'd sit in our lap and they'd just chill. And we recently, last weekend actually, we handed them over to cat protection, and oh, beautiful cats, amazing cats. I really miss them. I never really liked cats before. I've never really liked cats, but those two beautiful things made me realize how smart cats are and how just friendly they can be. Friendly, if you get the right cat, they're amazing. These are beautiful little cats, and I do miss them, but hopefully they're going on to a better home. It's getting really cold here. It was snowing last week here in Cambridge, and cats just needed to go to bed. They just need to go. They need to be in the warmth. We couldn't keep them inside all the time. It's too cold. They need to be... Anyway, I'm rambling, but they're in safe hands now. If anyone wants to adopt two beautiful black cats, Cambridge Cat Protection has two beautiful little black cats who want to be home together, and they're really beautiful cats. But to answer the question, dogs. I will always go dogs. The faithful, mankind's faithful friend. I love dogs. Nicholas Newland, have you seen Lady Bird? My personal favorite. I watched Lady Bird a couple of weeks ago for the very first time. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought maybe a little bit overrated, but I thought it was a really good movie. Oh my lord, the chat stalled, and then as soon as I said I'm going off in a couple of minutes, it's kicked back up again. I'm going to answer a few more questions. We'll close it off soon. Good morning from the US. It's 6 a.m. right now from Isaiah Smith. Oh yeah, a lot of the people from the US would be waking up now and jumping on the chat. James Giotta says, I love your content. It's awesome and I love it. Thank you very much. Dimension Scott, Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp? I like them both. I think the first time I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, I preferred it over Ant-Man just because it was like a lot more fun. I love the Wasp is my favorite, probably my favorite character in the Marvel comics. I love the Wasp. She's so cool. The Ant-Man and the Wasp, they're both my favorite. So I think to see Ant-Man and the Wasp on the screen was just awesome for me. My Twitter, the picture I use on my Twitter, is actually a panel from an old Avengers comic of the Wasp. If anyone is wondering what that graphic is I use on my Twitter heading, it's the Wasp. But I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp when it comes on Blu-ray. It didn't hold up for me as well on second viewing. So I probably would say Ant-Man. But I do love Ant-Man and the Wasp. Nicholas Newland, Captain Marvel will do Wonder Woman numbers, I think. Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. Captain Marvel, I think, will do Wonder Woman numbers. It will have that very similar audience. Not just because it's a female. Well, I guess because they're both female-led superhero movies. I think it will appeal to that same audience. I think it will do those numbers, but I hope it does better. Being Marvel, maybe it might give it a little extra kick. I don't know. I know a lot of male Marvel fans love Captain Marvel too. So I think it's just one sort of sector of the fan base. It's just very toxic of any pop culture fan base. It sucks. Andy's Entertainment Corner, hello. Rey is such a great character and don't understand the hate for her. Most people calling her a Mary Sue. For me, she's far from... I agree. I love Rey. I think she's such a great inspirational character. I have younger cousins who are females, and I love the fact that they grew up in an era where there has been Reys and Hermione Grangers and Wonder Womans and stuff like that. Moanas. I love it. I love the push towards female-driven narratives, and not for it's not an SJW thing. It's not a feminist thing. It's not a political thing. It's a human thing. And I think Hollywood has finally accepted the fact that female-driven movies do work. And there are these really amazing, strong, powerful women in movies now, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. Some of my favorite characters in the history of cinema are women. Again, we talk about the characters Marilyn Monroe played, Marilyn Monroe herself. We talk about Princess Leia from the original Star Wars movies. Characters from all cinema. I love Batwoman in the original Batman and Robin films. I just think that Laura Dern's character in Jurassic Park. I think these characters are all fantastic, and I love that there's more of them. And of course, the Disney princesses. I love that there's more of them these days. Someone asks, will Unbreakable come to 4K soon? I don't know. I don't know what Disney's going to be like with their back catalogue on 4K, but hopefully maybe they'll cut the deal with Universal to make like a box set or something, like they did with the Prestige and that Warner Brothers box set for the Nolan set. Ed Wood or The Disaster Artist, says Carter Lovejoy. They were both good. Maybe The Disaster Artist. Ed Wood's a very good movie though. James Goddard says, have you seen any of Cinema Sickness's movie tour videos? Yeah, I have. I've watched Cinema Sickness's stuff. He does some really good stuff too. I watch his stuff occasionally, and I've reached out to him a couple of times to get like a collaboration going, but it's just, again, it's one of those things that's never really worked out. Talking about collaborations, Aficionados Chris is in the room. Great to see you here, Aficionados Chris. Again, people aren't subscribed to Aficionados Chris. What are you doing with your life? Get onto it. This guy does some great stuff, and always has. He's one of my inspirations inside of my channel, even. He says, yo, Dave, doors always open to reappear in a new video with a little wink. Reach out to me whenever you want me to help you out. I love the last collaboration we did for the Mickey video. If people didn't see that, we did like a collaboration for the Mickey Blu-ray release. Yeah, if you want to do another collaboration, just reach out. You've got my email, and let me know what you want from me. Always happy to help out, and I'll reach out to you too if I ever need a collaboration in the future too. We collaborated actually on my Mickey video. the birthday celebration. Thank you for that. It was awesome. Carter Lovejoy, I sat up the whole night just to wait for you to go live. I drank like Diet Coke to be awake. Is it like 3 or 4 a.m. for you when I started? So it's like 6 a.m. You're crazy, man. You're gonna get some good. You've been here this whole time. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And I do hope you get some good sleep after I go off. Hope you're not too pepped up on Coke. Nicholas New on Netflix is the McDonald's of TV. Lots of crap and barely anything worth eating. I agree. I've found that there's not a lot of great stuff on Netflix. The range of movies sucks, and a lot of their original series aren't as great as people crack them up to be. The only stuff I've really enjoyed on Netflix, I love The Crown. I thought it was a great show. We just watched Sex Education, which was fantastic. If you haven't watched Sex Education, get on that. I watched You. As okay, like trashy fun. But yeah, I haven't really enjoyed much else. I enjoyed one called Everything Sucks, but that got cancelled, unfortunately. There's some decent stuff out there, but a lot of it, you agree, there's a lot of crap. Joshua says, good morning from Arizona, USA, 4 a.m. here. Good morning. Alan Murray says, how's old mate Rick? I miss your Blu-ray hunts. Old mate Rick is doing well. I miss Blu-ray hunting too. When I get back to Melbourne, we'll do some more. Unfortunately, I found it a bit hard to do it here in the UK. Dennis K. 1979, aka The Blue Corner. Disney is terrible with back catalogue being released on 4K. They finally do a few older MCU movies, but that's about it. Disney have been terrible with back catalogue, just full stop, forever. There is a vast majority of their back catalogue that's not available even on Blu-ray, especially a lot of their like really older classic movies. They are picking up on the 4K game, but yeah, the MCU stuff, they've done a couple of like Pixar catalogue titles, a couple of Disney animation catalogue titles like Wreck-It Ralph, the first Incredibles. So they are showing signs of doing some, but not a whole lot. But Disney's always been like that. Carter Lovejoy, have you watched Cool Duda? I've lost it now. Sorry, I scrolled down. Where is it? Have you watched Cool Duda? Yes, I've seen Cool Duda. He's great. Again, another inspiration of the channel. He's actually subbed to you. Is he? Is he really? Wow, I'll have to check that out. That's cool. Cool Duda. Subscribe to me. Awesome. Oh. That is cool. That's pretty cool. It's put a smile on my face. I like that. Jack Inkson, have you watched any Sean Chandler videos? Yes. Sean Chandler, I've watched quite a bit of his stuff. He does some good ranking stuff. I enjoy his stuff. He's got some good thoughts and stuff. Yeah, I've watched Sean Chandler. I'm subscribed to him, actually. You may have already answered this. Thomas Clark asked, you may have already answered this, but do you think The Little Mermaid will get a 4K release here in the UK, considering there still hasn't been an announcement? I think it would be strange if it didn't, especially since The Lion King got one. So I'd be inclined to think that, yeah, it probably will. I know it is being released in Australia, so my guess is it probably will get released in the UK. That might just be, from memory, the UK release of The Lion King took a little while to be announced as well after the US one was announced. So just wait a little while, a month or so, we might hear something. We might see something pop up on Zavi or Amazon or something. But I would be very surprised if it didn't get a release. Carter Lovejoy, have you got into Harry Potter more recently with your Wizarding World videos and such? Yes! I finally watched all the Harry Potter movies. I'd only ever watched the first 4. And then I finally got to watch the last 4 of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I love them. I've always loved Harry Potter. I just never got around to finishing the movies. I don't think I'll say I'll turn into like a die-hard Harry Potter fan like I am with the MCU or Star Wars. But I like Harry Potter. Harry Potter's fun. W! Best movie of the 2010s so far. My favourite movies the last decade have been Black Swan, The Great Gatsby, True Grit, Interstellar, and A Star is Born. I loved it. All those movies, they're probably my favourite movies of the past decade. Black Swan would take the cake for me, though. Absolutely love that movie. Thoughts on Die Hard? I love it. One of my favourite movies of all time. I unfortunately missed it this. I usually watch it every Christmas. I didn't watch it this Christmas. Didn't get time, unfortunately. But yeah, I gotta watch that again. I love it. W asks, would you watch a G-rated Deadpool? I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be really funny to watch that. I still haven't seen Once Upon a Deadpool, but that would be interesting to see. G-rated Deadpool. Well, there's an animated show, isn't there? That's probably G, or is that PG? Joshua asks, when do you think Fantasia movies will come out of the vault to own for digital for the USA? Now, Fantasia was 1941. So we've got a 1940. Sorry, Fantasia. So we've got the anniversary coming up next year, which would be what, like 70th anniversary? Yeah. I think Fantasia is due. No, 80th anniversary. 80 years. Wow. Yeah, because Wizard of Oz turns 80 this year as well. I told you I'm terrible with math. Yeah, I think it's due for another release, and I hope it does get a Signature Collection release. It was originally supposed to release as part of the Diamond editions, but they just relegated that to like a special edition release. They had planned all these amazing special features for it. There's got to be a bonus disc called Fantasia. What did they call it? It was like Fantasia World or something, where they'd taken all the deleted sequences from the original Fantasia, deleted sequences from Fantasia 2000, stuff like Destino and the Little Match Girl, which were originally planned to be part of Fantasia kind of movies, and they blended them into like a new Fantasia movie. And they were going to release that on the Blu-ray as well. It just didn't happen. So I hope that they do release it on the Signature Collection, and it gets a 4K release. I just really hope it does, and I hope it does on Signature. I hope it gets a 4K release. It deserves it. It deserves it. There weren't many special features on the last Fantasia, so I'd like to see a new release with some actual meat on there. But hopefully this year or next year, because we're coming up to the 80th anniversary. Got a lot of new people coming to the room now, which is awesome. And I'm behind again on the chat. I'm going to sound a little longer, only because there's new people in here now, and we've got a lot of questions. And I feel like I'm not too tired just yet. My neck's a bit sore. My throat's hurting a little bit, so I think we'll call it at 2.5 hours, I think. We'll go for another 10 minutes. Harry Palmtree, have you watched The Good Place? It's on UK Netflix. I've watched a few episodes. I liked it, but it was just one that we didn't continue on with, but I'd like to start again. Do you like Stranger Things? I watched one episode, couldn't get into it. Maybe I got to try again, I don't know. James Gottis asks, which Disney Blu-ray restoration is the worst, Sword in the Stone or Robin Hood? Sword in the Stone is awful. That's like the pinnacle of bad Disney restorations. Awful. And I don't see them re-restoring their movies ever, because they're like that. Disney, they did all these restorations 10 years ago, and I feel like that was like, they did that restoration, so they never had to do it again. But I do hope if Sword in the Stone gets another release, they do a proper restoration. But I'm not counting on that. I feel like I just went up on the thread a bit, actually. Harry Palmtree, what's your favourite book? My favourite book of all time is probably, as far as novels go, Dracula, or Phantom of the Opera, The Wizard of Oz, or Steve Martin wrote this really wonderful, beautiful little comedy book. It was like a romantic comedy book called Pleasure of My Company. I've read that. I think I've read that more than any other book, 3 or 4 times. And you read it, you can picture it as a Steve Martin romantic comedy movie from the 1980s, 1990s. and I'm so disappointed that it never got made into a movie. I hope it does one day, but I don't think it will be the same without Steve Martin in it. There is an audiobook, and I got the audiobook and I listened to it, and it's an amazing book. If people love Steve Martin, love his movies, check that book out. It's beautiful. Best comedy ever, I think the Monty Python movies are fantastic. Life of Brian's my favourite. Or the vacation movies with Chevy Chase. Love them too. Black Swan is a Perfect Blue ripoff. Please watch it before praising Black Swan. Haven't seen Perfect Blue, but Black Swan was an incredible movie. Natalie Portman delivered a spectacular, stellar performance in that film. Direction was amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. The cinematography, it's an incredible movie. And if it's a ripoff or like inspired by something else, it doesn't really bother me too much because it's inspired by the story of Swan Lake to begin with. So it pulls inspiration from places. Most movies are inspired by something, and that's fine. But I don't know. I haven't seen Perfect Blue. I don't really know what it is, so I'll look into that. But I love Black Swan. Lost my place in the thread again. Sorry. What's your favorite 80s movie? I don't know. I have so many favorite 80s movies, which I can't even think of off the top of my head. Probably Die Hard, that's late 80s. Blues Brothers, Back to the Future. These are all late 80s movies. Raiders of the Lost Ark, probably. That's early 80s, I suppose. I love the Terminator. First couple of the second Terminator was like early 90s though, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll have all those movies, all great. James Gildas once again asked, have you heard of an underrated animated film called Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest? I love it, but the sequel, The Medical Rescue, sucked, and I hated it. I saw that as a kid, I loved that. I watched that. Was that a Don Bluth thing, or am I wrong? I don't know. I think there were so many movies back then that tried to emulate Don Bluth and Disney style. It all blends into one. Frittata Lovejoy, Fantasia Blu-ray is $100+ on eBay. Yeah, because it hasn't been out for like 7 or 8 years. But once it gets reissued, that original Blu-ray will drop down in price. This is the reason they release the movies every 7 years. It's because it builds up like an interest in the film, and people want to get it. And as soon as it comes out, they just flock to buy it. It'll come out again. They will reissue it. I promise. I promise you. I can't promise you that. I can't really guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure they will. Carter Lovejoy, do you like pitch meetings from Screen Rant? Yeah, they're quite funny. Gin Stampede says, hello, by the way. Hello. Nicholas Newland, have you seen Scarface? All-time favourite movie, hoping for a 4K release. Have seen it multiple times. I love it. That would be great on 4K. Did I hear something about that getting a 4K? Let me have a look. Or am I imagining things? No. No, I didn't hear anything about that. I thought I did. Imagining things. New Zealand Canadian, what's the best region-free Blu-ray player? I have one at home called a Laser. It's the only region-free Blu-ray player I really know about. It sucks. Don't buy it. It's alright on a smaller screen, but it sucks on my projector. It makes Blu-rays look like a DVD, basically. It's really pixelated, depending on what you're watching. I don't like that. The player's okay on my TV, on a smaller screen. I'm not too sure about many other players out there. I know the Oppo ones were region-free, but they don't make them anymore. I'm not sure, but someone else in the comments might know. But I know there's a lot of. I'm sure you can like get the players hacked. I wouldn't do it myself, but I think you can do that. John Forbes, really impressed with your commitment to us all chatting for 2.5 hours. Amazing. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I've got nothing else to do, and I'm happy to chat. And there's a lot of people in here. A lot of new faces have popped in the last hour, so I'm happy to be on here and just chat for a bit. But once my voice goes and my neck goes, unfortunately, there's not much more I can do. But we'll keep chatting for a little bit longer. Thank you for joining me this whole time. Thank you for people for sticking with me for 2.5 hours and me sitting here chatting. It's amazing. Mr. Scarlo, do you think Captain Marvel will do well? Yeah, we chatted about this very briefly just before. I think it's going to do well. I don't think it will flop. The best we've put it in the chat was it's probably going to do like Wonder Woman numbers. Maybe a little better. Maybe a little better because it's a Marvel movie. At worst, it will probably do Ant-Man and the Wasp kind of numbers. Scrolling back up a little bit because I've lost my spot again. Here we go. Are you excited for X-Men Dark Phoenix from Dimension Scott? Wouldn't say I'm excited, but I will watch it. It looks okay. I'm curious. Finn, hi Dave. Hi Finn, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. Nicholas Newland, Police Academy for sure. Police Academy was a bit of fun. Jin Stampede says, please just keep in mind watching some Satoshi Kon movies in the future. If so, my mission is accomplished. I'll keep that in mind. I do need to get into more anime and more sort of Asian cinema. I've started watching a lot of Japanese films, Akira Kurosawa movies I've been watching recently. I've never really seen many. It's one of those things where you're like, I need to watch more of these. I need to watch these movies, and never really got around to them until recently. And they're amazing. But I do need to watch like the Ghibli films, Studio Ghibli films. I've never watched a lot of them. I've seen like Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Grave of the Fireflies. But I think I really need to dip into more Asian cinema and particularly anime stuff. I think. The movies are so expensive though on Blu-ray. John Forbes, Black Swan is my favourite live-action film. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. I love it. Joshua asks, if you could pick any animated Disney movie to create a live-action film, what would you pick and why? I don't know. I've always wanted to see like a proper live-action Snow White. Only because I love the movie, I love the story. Universal did that Snow White and the Huntsman, which was kind of crap. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. But I'd love to see like a proper Disney version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That would be really good. Or Pinocchio. I believe they're working on a Pinocchio. Pinocchio would be great. Jackson Inkson, what do you think of the new Family Guy episodes? A lot of people hate on it, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy Family Guy. Family Guy's fun, easy viewing, and I love it. Not as great as the early stuff, but I still enjoy it. Carter Lovejoy says, Perfect Blue is an anime film. Maybe Chris Stuckman has a video on it. It has inspired Black Swan, and Darren Aronofsky owns the rights to Perfect Blue. Interestingly enough, well, there you go. Well, I will check it out. Okay, I'm going to Blu-ray.com. I'm going to Blu-ray.com, and I'm typing in Perfect Blue. It's available on Blu-ray in the UK. And I am going to get my hands on that. £50? Whoa! I'm telling you, these anime movies are so expensive. That's like $100. That's like $100. I'm looking at a collector's edition, standard edition, £14. That's more like it. I'm gonna buy that. Not right now, but I will buy that. I'll look around and see where I can get it for a good price. I'm gonna check that out. My education begins. John Forbes says Fern Gully was commissioned in Australia and produced by 20th Century Fox by a new animation division at Fox. That's right, it was a Fox film. Premiered at the UN, it is based on an Australian novel that's sadly out of print. I never realised it was an Australian film. I never realised that. And that's why, so it's named after Fern Gully, the actual Fern Gully rainforest in Victoria. I always wondered if there was like a connection between the film and the rainforest. I've been to Fern Gully rainforest many times. Or Fern Tree Gully. I always wondered if there was like a connection there. There obviously is. I've lost my place again. What editor? Ninja's Best Power says, what editor do you use like iMovie? I edit on Final Cut Pro, Final Cut 7. It's 10 years old. I've only just recently realized, yes, that's a 10-year-old program. I'm using like outdated software. I need to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade to Final Cut 10 or maybe move across to Adobe and use Premiere. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I do need to update my editing software in an enormous need to update my software. Best remakes, Carter Lovejoy asked. Mine is True Grit 2015. True Grit was an amazing remake. I don't know, off the top of my head, Scarface was a remake. We talked about Scarface before. That was great. I don't know. There's been so many great ones over the years. I love the Disney remakes. You all know that. Beauty and the Beast was great. A lot of remakes suck. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. Best remakes. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Actually, I'm going to type in Google remakes and see what pops up. Movie remakes. A Star is Born. That was a great remake. Ocean's 11 was a good remake because they remade the old Frank Sinatra film, which I loved as well. 3:10 to Yuma, that was a remake. That was a great movie. Psycho remake was one of the worst remakes ever made, ever. Cape Fear, yes. I love both versions of Cape Fear. Ben-Hur, yeah, the 1959 Ben-Hur was a remake, which was great. Both versions of Ben-Hur. There's a lot of great remakes out there. You just got to know where to look. And a lot of movies that you don't realise are remakes, like Ben-Hur, Ten Commandments, The Wizard of Oz. Old movies are remakes to begin with. Do you think Warner Brothers, Mr. Scarlo says, do you think Warner Brothers will release 4K Batman from 1989? I think it's just about guaranteed they'll probably start pillaging their back catalogue soon, yeah. Nicholas Newland says they're remaking Scarface again. Yes, of course they are. That's what I'd heard. I'd heard that they were remaking it, not that they were doing a 4K release. Yes. So they'll probably release the original on 4K. But the Al Pacino Scarface was a remake to begin with. So we can't really complain that they're remaking Scarface because Scarface was a remake to begin with. Carter, can't Fox just give Marvel X-Men back to put them in the MCU as well as Fantastic Four? If the whole Disney Fox deal does well, then we have hope for Marvel. Well, it's happened. Kevin Feige's even actually been openly speaking about it recently. It's going to happen. They're going to get those characters, and they're very likely going to reboot them, which I think is going to be great. So it's not an if anymore. It's when. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Best non-Disney or DreamWorks animation movie. Oh man, I think like I like the ones we were talking about before, like Anastasia, Swan Lake, Secret of Nim, like the Don Bluth movies. They were like a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. Trying trying to think of anything more recent. Like anything that's popping into my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's DreamWorks. I enjoyed like the Despicable Me films. The first one at least was quite good. I enjoyed that. Ice Age, I thought was great movie. The question, hey Dave, it's 3:30 in America and my sleep schedule is screwed up. Thanks for being here with me. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks to everybody for joining me. It's some crazy times around the world. I love it. Thanks your enthusiasm and your commitment is fantastic. I love it. Do you watch Beyond the Trailer YouTube? I do. I watch some of Grace's stuff, not all the time. She can be a little negative sometimes, and I don't like watching really negative stuff, but occasionally she has got some decent things to say, and I do watch her videos. Carter Lovejoy, is Anastasia officially now a Disney princess? Because she's Fox owned, and Disney now bought Fox. I don't think so. I don't think they'll do that. But I guess technically, if you want to get technical. I'm going to answer a few more questions. My throat's getting a bit dry now. My neck's really hurting. So I'm going to answer whatever's left here. And we've been on for 2 hours and 36 minutes, which is great. I've enjoyed this. I'm going to try and do more of these. I say this all the time, but I am honestly going to try and do more of these. This come out of nowhere. I've been planning to do one for ages. And yesterday I was thinking, geez, I need to announce a new live chat. I was actually going to plan it for next week, but I thought, no, stuff it. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. It's turned out well. So yeah, I'm going to go through whatever questions I've got here now, and then we'll call it a day on this one. I never liked Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Tim Burton. Neither did I. Crap. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka, not Johnny Depp. I'll agree with that. The Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka was awful. Awful. Haven't seen Glass yet, no. Joshua says, it was nice to see 2D animation in the new Mary Poppins movie. Do you think Disney will bring back 2D animated films by itself? I honestly don't think so. John Lasseter tried it when he first came to the studio, and audiences didn't want it. Audiences just didn't go and see the movies. But then again, those movies weren't marketed very well. I think we're in an era now where people are really nostalgic, and I think animated films, traditional animated films, would work better these days than maybe they did 9-10 years ago. 10 years ago now, yeah, wow. Princess and the Frog would be 10 years old this year. I think they would maybe do marginally better, but I don't ever see Disney jumping back into 2D animation. If they ever do, it'll be like that hybrid 2D, 3D animation, like the Paperman short or Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. I think that's probably the best we'll get. I don't ever see them going back to traditional animation. But there is a team of ex-Disney animators who've moved across to Netflix now. I believe Don Hahn is kind of running the show, and they're doing a lot of traditionally animated stuff. And there is, I think, a group of Pixar animators who've just made a traditionally animated film as well. So that would be great to see. So, yeah, hopefully they'll tie us over until Disney maybe does something. Hopefully, but I don't know. Movie and Game World, I think you are awesome. Thank you very much. Dimension Scott, do you have thoughts on Bumblebee? Not very interested in any Transformers. I've heard Bumblebee's quite good. Maybe I'll watch it at some point, but not that interested. Zach, dream MCU movie. Oh boy. Like dream Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Infinity War and Endgame were just a dream come true. I'd love to see, I don't know. Fantastic Four, X-Men, that's like my dream. The Fantastic Four and the X-Men coming into the MCU. X-Men versus Avengers. That's like the dream. That's the big dream right there, isn't it? And hopefully one day we'll see something like that. My dream was like I love the Vision and the Scarlet Witch, and I love the Vision and the Scarlet Witch comics. I know they get like a bad rap because they're a bit cheesy, a bit corny, like romantic comedy stuff. But they're doing the Scarlet Witch Vision series for Netflix, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Carter Lovejoy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit sequel? Who knows? They're pillaging their back catalogue at the moment. Maybe they will do a Roger Rabbit sequel. They had planned on doing a sequel. It fell apart. Carter Lovejoy, Lion King is 25 this year. Mind blown. It really is. I feel old. I was like 3 years old when I first saw The Lion King in cinemas. The very first movie I ever saw in cinemas 25 years ago. It's crazy. Movie and Game World. How many DVDs and Blu-rays do you own? About 5,000 on last count, I think. Carter Lovejoy, thoughts on the Black Widow movie? I'm excited for it. Black Widow, I think, is a character that works best in an ensemble. So I've never really particularly thought she'd work well in a movie by herself. I feel like Black Widow is a character more like Hawkeye or Scarlet Witch, someone that might be better suited to a TV series. But I'm totally open to it. I'm excited to it. I love Black Widow as a character. And I think if they make it, I don't want to detract from her too much, but if they do make it sort of an ensemble movie, like they incorporate like one or two other characters, like I'd call Thor Ragnarok an ensemble film. It's not so much a Thor film. If they did it like they introduced Hawkeye, they brought in maybe one or two other characters, I think it could be quite good. But just Black Widow, I'm not too sure what they're going to do with that. But I'm looking forward to it. Nicholas Newland, isn't Indiana Jones coming out this year that's gone under the radar? No, they pushed that to like 2020 or 2021. It's been well and truly pushed back. Same with Jungle Cruise. They pushed back Jungle Cruise to next year. But no, Indiana Jones, not this year. Nicholas Newland, I'm keen for Princess Diaries 3, confirmed in development with everyone on board. Not sure if it was confirmed. I think there was like industry talk that it was happening, but that would be good. I actually like the first Princess Diaries films. Joshua says, do you think the new Disney streaming service will have their full catalogue of movies and TV shows? I don't know. I don't think it's going to have everything ever. There's going to be the huge glaring omissions on there, but I feel like they could go either one or two ways. They could have stuff on there for perpetuity, like they will constantly have all their live action, all of their animated movies on there at all times. Or they could literally do what they do with Blu-rays and make the movies available for like a year and then take them off for 7 years. I hope they don't. I hope they realize that the Disney Vault is dead. And with the inception of this Disney streaming thing, hopefully it's a new way of Disney distributing films. And hopefully people don't have to wait 7 years between releases anymore. Because there's so many different releases of Disney movies on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, Laserdisc, 4K now that there's not a huge market like... There's not like a huge like... You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like back in the day, oh my god, it's a huge thing when a Disney movie's finally being re-released. These days it's like, okay, it's being re-released again. But it'd be interesting to see what they do with the streaming service. Dave Lee, hi Dave Lee, greetings from China. Hi China. What's your favourite horror movie? I think, I'm not sure if anyone else is on here from China at the moment, but there's another great country that we can add to the multicultural list of people in the chat here. My favorite horror movie of all time is The Shining. I love that movie. Dimension Scott, what movies you watch that never get old? Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, the Blues Brothers, Black Swan, The Great Gatsby, I Love You Man, the Monty Python films, just all those kind of movies. I've got a message from old mate Rick. This is to clarify how many Blu-rays, DVDs do we have. The exact number, well, this isn't an exact number, but there are 4,798 movies, TV shows catalogued in our thing at home, in our catalogue at home. I've got like 20 movies with me here that I've bought here, maybe 30. I've got a lot of movies I've bought here. And I know Vincent has got about my mate Vincent in Canada has got about 8 months worth of Disney stuff to send over to me. So Getting there. Getting close to 5,000. Joshua, would you want a reboot of Back to the Future? No. That's like the one thing I would be like very, very nervous about them touching. I usually don't have a problem with remakes or reboots. You guys know that. But Back to the Future, I would think I would have a problem with that. I think I would have a problem with that. I don't know how they would. I don't know. If they did do it, yeah, as you said, Michael Fox has Parkinson's. Christopher Lloyd is really old. I think they would like reboot the cast, and I don't see that happening. I don't want that to happen. W, what's your favorite Bond film? I love Dr. No. I love From Russia with Love. I love what's it called? You Only Live Twice. I love what's that? Skyfall, Casino Royale. They're probably my favorite Bond movies. Oh yeah, we do get a new Bond this year, don't we? I didn't like Spectre. I hated Spectre, but I'm looking forward to the new film. That's right, yeah. Andy's Entertainment Corner says there's a Back to the Future game which is more or less Back to the Future 4. Yeah, I've seen someone uploaded like all the cutscenes. Movie and Game World NL. I just watched Dr. No a few weeks ago. Great film. Dimension Scott, what do you think? Still think of Solo Star Wars Story? Think it's a decent movie. It's not a great movie. It's not the best movie. Not the best Star Wars film. I watched it again when it came out on Blu-ray. It held up even worse for me when I rewatched it. Doesn't have a lot of rewatch value, so I'll probably get it in maybe a couple of years' time. But it's a decent movie. I don't have a problem with it existing. Look, guys, I think at 2 hours and 50 minutes, I said about an hour ago. Am I buffering? I don't know. Am I buffering here? Am I buffering? Can anyone let me know in the chat? Oh, no, we're back. I think at 2 hours and 50 minutes, we're going to close this off. I said about an hour ago I was going to close it off. And for some reason, my stream is going very funny. Like I got really bad stream health. We're gonna... All right, sorry about that. We had like buffering was going on, but we're back. And yeah, it says like this is like perfect time to I think close off now that we're having streaming issues and whatever. 3 hours. This is like the longest I've done for, but I loved it. I love lots of great questions constantly flowing through. John Forbes, thank you so much. Keen for more live chat. I'm going to make these more often, hopefully every couple of weeks. Yeah, definitely. Moving Game World, thanks for chatting. Sorry that I only just saw it just now. That's okay. You will be able to watch this video. I don't know why anyone would want to sit there for 3 hours and watch this back, but if you would want to, that's awesome. And yeah, you will be able to watch this video back after it'll processed and it'll go up on the channel. You'll be able to watch the whole thing if you want to see it. But I will be back with another live chat. Let's say a couple of weeks' time, and we'll probably change the time. I might do it midday for me, so more like around this time, like 12 p.m., 1 p.m. for me in the UK, which will be like a reasonable time for all you guys out there in the US especially. And yeah, so look, guys, I'm going to sign off now. My neck's sore, my throat's sore, I have run out of water, and I need food. I need lunch. I'm going to go do that. Thank you all so much for joining me. There's people on here who have been up from like 3, 4 a.m. who've stuck with me for 3 hours, and that's amazing. Go get yourself some sleep, get some rest. Absolutely everybody in here, have a great day. Depends wherever you are in the world. Have a great day. Have a great night. Enjoy whatever you're doing today, or go and have a great sleep, whatever. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it, and I love all the support. So thank you for so much. You're awesome. You're all fantastic, and I really appreciate you tuning up. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you very soon in the future. I don't know what videos I've got coming up this week. I actually don't have anything planned, but we'll play it by ear. I like to be very topical these days, so I sort of fly by the seat of my pants and do whatever's topical. Hopefully some Blu-ray announcement videos this week. I don't know what's going to get announced, but we'll see. Probably not another video later today, because I already got Donald Duck up yesterday and the Captain America First Avenger 4K thing announcement. Check them out if you haven't. But thank you once again for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Take it easy, and see you later. Let's do that again. Okay. See you later. Thanks for joining me. Phone. We're back. End scene. Post-credit scene. We hit 15,000 subscribers over New Year's, which was absolutely amazing, and I do want to thank everybody once again for that. And we're rapidly approaching 16,000, which is amazing. We've gone up like another 1,000 in a month. It's incredible. I thank you all so much, to all the old subscribers, supporters, and all the new subscribers and supporters as well. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. Let's just keep building this thing. I really appreciate absolutely everything. Nearly 16,000. I honestly cannot believe it. It's very humbling, and I really appreciate all the support. And thanks for showing up again today. So end scene. I'm going to end the post-credit scene. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.